Let's go live to hear about that winning goal.
The crowd's gone absolutely wild here. How on earth do you sum up your emotions right now?
Amazing. A hat-trick is just the best feeling ever.
Is it though? Is kicking a ball into the back of the net really better than food fulfillment from Burger King? That warm, fuzzy feeling of total food satisfaction, like finishing the last bite of a Gourmet King's Barbecue Steakhouse Angus.
No.
Correct. Burger King. That's food fulfillment.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Order the ultimate food satisfaction with the flame grilled bacon double cheeseburger XL. Order your Burger King delivery now.
Let's go!
Thanks to Jess for the news. Thanks to Hunter and Hoggy for the last hour of brilliant radio. What's going to happen the next 3 hours? It's the derby, Celtic against Rangers. Dramatic team news at Celtic. Stephen McGinn, Craig Moore are with us. Stephen, what's the news from the Celtic camp?
Yeah, big news coming out of the Celtic camp. Obviously, no captain Callum McGregor, which is a massive blow for Brendan Rodgers. And also a couple of defensive issues. Austin Trusty, we believe, his girlfriend, wife, has gone into labour and misses a game. Liam Scales obviously an injury miss, so huge game for Navrocki coming in for his first start of the season.
Celtic lineup: Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter Vickers the captain, and Navrocki and Schlupp, McCowan, Engels and Hatate, Jota, Kuhn and Maeda. On the bench, Sinisalo and Taylor, Ida, Yang, Kenny, Murray, Ralston, Bonner and Turley. So some of the younger names there as well. Right, Rangers coming here for the first time under Barry Ferguson. Craig, your old teammate, will lead them there after a great result the other night, going through in the penalties. What's the Rangers team news? There's a change.
Yeah, there is a change. Team news. Jeff is a player that comes out, who's been playing regular. Look, I think the question still for Barry Ferguson and what we've seen in the European game: does he go back four or back to a back four, or does he stick as what it has been? But his starting 11 is Butler in goals, Tavernier captain, Suter, Balogun, Ridvan, Sterling, Barron, Raskin, Diamande, Czerny, Dessers. Paul, there were some really tired legs on Thursday night. There was a lot of effort put into it.
131 minutes all in.
These players need to be right up for it though for this game today.
It's going to be some game. On the bench for Rangers: Kelly, Proper, Lawrence, Bajrami, Nsiala, Igaman, Hadji, Rice and Danilo. 16 points in it, but the funny thing is, the Rangers bench, is that stronger than Celtic's, or does it matter at the moment?
It's a good debate, Paul. Yeah. I think it probably is a stronger looking bench than Celtic, but the goals will change the matches, and the introduction of the substitutions are key.
Stephen, it's 13 out of 14 titles for Celtic. It's there. There's only a number of games to go now. Celtic 16 points clear. Today, what do you sense that they want to do against their oldest rivals? Because all the chat's been about Rangers because of, brilliant in European football. Barry Ferguson in there, known by everyone as a brilliant player, now in the manager's position. I wonder what Celtic are thinking today.
Yeah, well, you can point to a lot of things. What it feels like today is we've got the derby back. It feels like with the fans back, even, coming into the game, obviously Celtic, it's not going to impact the league. Celtic have won the league. There's obviously not a Scottish Cup semi or final to look forward to between the two sides, so it's not even to put a marker down. This is purely ego, all the things in terms of even Barry Ferguson, Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, Alan McGregor being part of the Rangers camp. Celtic fans want it to be a really, agony. They piling on the agony. They want it to really suffer between now and the end of the season. They don't want four Rangers legends to come in and parachute from a really difficult situation to the end of the season. They want to go out and put a marker down. And really interested, I think probably with Barry switching to the five diamond box, whatever you call it, in midfield, 5-4-1. I think it throws up the different tactical battle. I noticed the way Mourinho went with it over in Turkey. They played into Rangers' hands, crosses from deep. John Suter and Balogun I thought were immense in the game, and they allowed Rangers to counter-attack. The other night at Ibrox, with Fred being back available for Fenerbahce, Fenerbahce were sustaining attacks. It was really hard. I thought Czerny was immense in the first half. He was really outstanding. He was taking the game to Fenerbahce on his own, but once he started to tire a bit, they were able to sustain attacks. So that's a bit for me for Celtic. Can they keep Rangers pinned in really as a back five and not let them get out?
Craig?
Look, for me, the individual duels I think are huge today. Look, we normally would speak about Callum McGregor in terms of one of the really influential players in this type of match. He doesn't start, so for me that's a plus for Rangers, absolutely. Maeda is another one, and Kuhn. And I think so those personal battles will dictate a lot. Like I said, I'm interested because I'm still not, until I actually see kick-off and the way that they shape up. I know that Barry does like a 4-4-2 as well. So, look.
So you think he might go 4-4-2?
I don't know, because with the personnel, he can do both.
16 points in it. Stephen, you're smiling?
Yeah, because we're 22 minutes away from wondering if Craig actually does know.
And Stephen, this is honestly, this is not. I mean, I don't think anybody's been able to speak to Barry Ferguson.
Yes, true.
He's been that busy. Paul, you'll back me up on that.
Absolutely. We were in touch on Friday night, but that's all I'm saying. But no, you're right. I think it's non-stop. And Brendan Rodgers is used to this, and as an elite manager, Barry, I mean, what a start for him. But yeah, I just get the feeling it's going to be, the cameras will be on the touch lines as well. You just said the derby's back, the Old Firm derby, the Glasgow derby. There's going to be some edge there with Billy Dodds around. You get John Kennedy, and is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I do honestly. I just felt with the league. I mean, the league was done. Rangers went out the Scottish Cup. I just think there is the extra edge there in terms of Philippe Clement was there, and maybe the staff, and there's a spotlight on the Rangers dugout that might not be there. Philippe Clement was there. He was very much the lone Rangers, you could say, standing out in the front. I think it's a really interesting battle, even just the touchline, what it looks like.
But yeah, I think, Stephen, and we've seen it with Barry in terms of the emotion that he does show on the sideline. It's it's something that certainly Philippe Clement was a lot more reserved. But when you mentioned the likes of your Neil McCanns and your Dodsies and McGregor, Alan McGregor. There's that real kind of feistiness there as well.
We've spoken here, Paul. It used to annoy me a bit in terms of Philippe Clement spend a lot of his energy with the fourth official.
Yeah.
Barry's more like he lives the game. He's almost like that. He's almost like a captain at the side of the park. He's living. He's wanting to. And I think the players have responded better to it than maybe the manager. We've spoke before. It can't always be the ref's fault. He can't impact everything. And I do think the Rangers players have taken that bounce off of Barry.
But cool heads today. Cool heads are what's needed, even on the bench.
Can he do that? Can Barry be cool under that kind of pressure?
Well, this will be a test because we know how much the game means to him. He'll be desperate to not lose. He'll be desperate to not lose.
Rangers won the last one, 2nd of January, against the odds. I think that'd be fair to say. 16 points in it though. Brendan Rodgers said yesterday, no, not thinking about that result at Ibrox.
No, I think we were pretty clear after it at that time, and I think you need to see the response. At that time we were 14 points clear. The response from that game puts us at 16 points clear. So the response to that defeat was very, very good. And like I said, it was foreign for me because I never experienced that with my teams before in this game. And it was more the response to going behind. We didn't respond to that. You can always go behind in games. You can always things don't go your way in a game, but Rangers was the better team on that day. So we have to accept that. We've responded really, really well, and now you get the chance to build on the lead that we have by performing.
But Stephen Yar, the human beings, they will be thinking about that, and it was a bit of a hammering at Ibrox. They'll want to stamp their mark on this game as champions elect.
Yeah, I think that would be. I mean, at times you watch Rangers play, and sometimes you think you look at them, you say, how have they beaten Celtic 3-0? How have they? And then other times you look at Rangers and say, they're a good side. How do they have the domestic disappointments they have because they're a good side? So it's probably there's a bit of an onus on Celtic to not let Rangers build into the game. I think we're all pretty unanimous in the fact that Rangers want to get through the first 20-25 minutes without giving Celtic momentum. But that flips. What can Celtic do? There's not the absolute. It's not like you have to score inside the first 20, but you can really put a marker down and say to the Rangers, you aren't getting out here.
It's going to be some game, isn't it? It's, Craig, Barry's just spoken to Sky, and he spoke about the change.
Well, yeah, but Jeff D, we know, has been left out, and just listen to Barry's interview there due to personal reasons. Obviously, that will stay personal. So, look, we don't know what that is, but that's why the change has been there. Ridvan, he touched on in terms of has played out of position, Paul. At times, obviously, he's played on the right-hand side, but you would expect Ridvan to slot into the left in replacing Jefty.
18 minutes and counting.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Save big with the £4.99 Kings Combo, featuring a selected burger, choice of a side and drink, exclusively on the Burger King app.
Let's go!
Huge game coming up. One managerial casualty in the last 24 hours. It's the Queen's Park manager, Callum Davidson, has gone after the 4-0 home defeat to Stephen McGinn's former team, Falkirk. Huge win there, and Callum's gone just a month after defeating Rangers in the Cup.
Yeah, well, I mean, it shows you in football that you're only cup form, everything. The league is your bread and butter, and at times there's been good moments under Callum, but over the piece, I know from speaking to some of the Falkirk guys that it could have been anything yesterday. It was a real dominant performance and a big day for Falkirk in terms of going 8 points clear with 7 to play. They're really honing in the championship title.
They sure are. Not a good afternoon for Ayr United. In the Premiership yesterday, Kilmarnock and Hibs 1-1. The late goal from Murray equalised from Martin Boyle earlier on. Motherwell and St Mirren 2-2. Well, we're 2 goals down, came back to 2-2. Olasanya sent off. We don't have enough time to talk about it, but it was a mistake. St Johnstone Aberdeen 0-0. Enough said on that one. And Hearts 2, Ross County 0. Later this afternoon, Dundee United against Dundee. It's the Go Radio Football Show coming from the heart of the Gorbals, just a mile and a half maybe from Celtic Park. And Craig Moore, the man who would normally be here, saving your... It would be Barry. He is the manager of Rangers. Shall we hear what he was saying yesterday ahead of the game and what's to play for? Now, you know, every Old Firm game there's something to play for. The league position, those 16 points.
Yeah, I get that the leagues in terms of points were obviously 16 points behind Celtic, but there's still a lot to play for in my opinion. You need to go and show what it means to play at this club, and listen, Europe, it's a long shot in terms of getting to the final, but we're going to give it our best shot. And in terms of the league games that are going to be coming up, we need to go and show that we're more than capable of making challenges every single season.
Craig?
It's pride. It's pride that's on the line in this match, Paul, and especially for Barry. But again, he wants to kind of get his players to be thinking a little bit more in terms of what it means to the supporters, really being able to dig deep. And it's pride. We know that the league, with it, Rangers aren't going to come out and say the league's gone, but I can say it in terms of the way that I feel. But this is a game that Rangers will be desperate not to lose. It's momentum that starts to build for the following season, Paul. That's the important thing for Rangers.
Stephen, what's going on in the Celtic dressing room in the sense of what's the manager saying to them then for this team? OK, no Callum McGregor, we know it, and at the back, Trusty missing because there's a baby on the way and Liam Scales is injured. So it's Nawrocki, it's his first start this season, hasn't started since the end of last season. But anyway, what will Brendan Rodgers be saying?
I don't think he's the type of manager. I don't think there's going to be any big speeches, and I don't think he works like that. I think he'll have a tactical plan for what he wants the game to look like. Every player will know their role. Probably you'll have it more dictated to the players in terms of that noise. I'm sure Callum McGregor will be in about the boys and plenty of encouragement. So I think the one bonus, if you're to pick Nawrocki to go in for his first start of the season, I think from a Celtic point of view, it's Cameron Carter-Vickers you want him in beside. If Cameron Carter-Vickers is missing, it's Nawrocki and Trusty and Nawrocki and Scales. I think you're a lot more worried. Even the players maybe. I think Carter-Vickers, captain in the side today, I think he's an important one for Celtic.
It's your position, and I think that's a good summary. Do you agree?
And I do. And I just think that Maeda is going to be involved in so much today, right? And it's going to influence the game so much in terms of do Rangers actually go and be positive in terms of look to press the game, which allows space, for Maeda to be able to run in the back of, or do they box a little bit clever and look to sit and be more compact as a group, limit the spaces behind and look to build into the game that way? That's the interesting thing.
What do you think, Craig? What's he going to do? You know him so well.
Well, Barry likes to attack. He likes to win games of football, but you want to make sure, I think, especially in this first half that you're still in the game, I don't think being compact and sitting a little bit deeper is such a bad thing.
You do think and I know, Rangers came off the back of extra time a few years ago to beat Celtic at Hampden. They're top pros, they're top players. It doesn't really play into it, but I did think Balogun at his age, he's obviously struggled with injuries at time. Probably Craig can tell us better from a centre half point of view, but from my experience of playing in a team that plays with a 3 or plays with a 5, that outside centre halves have to sometimes engage. So that's the one. If Ridvan's caught up the park, you imagine Coon, his eyes will light up if he sees Balogun into that channel. So usually the older one maybe plays in the centre, but I think John Souttar really suits him. I think he brings out the best in him, but that would be the one for Celtic, Balogun coming on the left hand side.
Big day for Coon, I would say, in that he started the season brilliantly, not as prominent recently.
Yeah, you could probably trace his I mean, I thought he was excellent in Munich. But you could probably trace his drop off in terms of probably he was the player of the year. If the season had finished at that cup final, he was the player of the year at that point. I think he's dropped off, still not significantly to the point where he's still a very important player for Celtic. But I think it's the type of day, in terms of arriving, I don't mean arriving back as a Celtic player, but you say, look, remember me, this isn't just about Dyson Maeda, this isn't about Jota, who's hugely popular in here. I've been the man out in the wides, wingers in the width for Celtic this season.
Big day for Rio Hatate because he improved so much last week when Callum McGregor went off. Would that be fair? Hatate maybe more onus on him, and he loves that.
Absolutely. I mean, Callum McGregor not being there, even in the last few years, there's been McGregor and O'Reilly, or even McGregor, Aaron Moy. Hatate's maybe been that one that's been protected by the other ones. I think there's a big onus on Rio Hatate today.
9 minutes to go.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Order the ultimate food satisfaction with the flame grilled bacon double cheeseburger XL. Order your Burger King delivery now.
Let's go. It's lunchtime, Sunday, 16th of March. Celtic against Rangers is 6.5 minutes away. Teams will be out shortly. It's on Sky. Some great coverage there. Just looking at the panel, there's Neil Lennon, the success he had over the years as a player and a manager. Many people feel he was hasn't had the praise that he deserves, but that's maybe for another day. Brendan Rodgers going for Celtic's 13th title out of 14. And look, we know it's almost done and dusted, but it's not yet. And they would love to get back and get a win this afternoon against a resurgent Rangers. I mean, it depends how you look at it. Rangers have lost 2 games under Barry, and I'm not, he was on this show until just 2.5 weeks ago. But Rangers are through to European competition. It's fascinating this afternoon. I'm not doing the old thing, what do you think it's going to be? I noticed last night in the telly, Stephen, you were you were asked, Celtic 16 points clear, who's going to win? And Tom was like, oh, you surprised me. Think again, Stephen. Anyway, didn't ask anyone else what they thought, but I've been slightly, but be
come
fair.
On, Tom, mate. What are you doing, mate?
Exactly. Yeah, come on. Craig, what's a good result? What do you think's going to happen today?
Again, I think just the start of the match, Paul, is really vital for Rangers because, again, just coming off the back of Thursday night, it was a great night to be able to go through, but there was a lot of energy that was used. Yep. I know that can't be an excuse, especially for this type of game, because everybody is up for this type of game. But at the same time, therefore, you need to start and start well to be able to grow into the game. I think Barry, for me, a great result for Barry today is not getting beat.
Yep. Is it in Celtic's thinking at all to make Rangers work hard for the first half? I mean, does Celtic go at them right away?
They do from playing against Brendan Rodgers' team. They do. It's something they do. I know at times people call it boring or too many safe passes across, but I know they can make you feel like that when you're going side to side constantly. But what it is it's brilliant. Any other league in the Europe, probably a team getting into it 16 points clear, a draw would be a decent result. You keep the next challengers at arms. Not in this city. No. Anything but a win for Celtic today would be seen as a failure. They were really hurting after Ibrox and how badly they played and got turned over. So there is a bit of revenge in the air, I would say.
We're seeing the pictures there. The Rangers fans are back. Well, for the first time, I can't remember how long it is, but the first time in numbers of 2,500 in years. So, Craig, are you saying a draw? Do you reckon?
I think a draw's a good result.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I can understand.
What do you think?
I think a draw.
Yeah, a draw. Sure, sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Stephen, what do you feel?
I do. I mean, I know Barry's gone in and he's got them going. There's a much better feeling about it. But they have conceded 7 goals in 4 games. I think the Celtic team can score from all different areas. Obviously, it's much more of a leveller in terms of Navrocki coming in, Callum McGregor missing out. But I look at the front boys at Celtic, and I just think off the back of Thursday night, there's too many goals. I think Celtic will get the win.
The fans are back.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first spell up here. They were great occasions, and I think it's what the nature of this fixture is about. The rivalry, the supporters in both grounds. So having Rangers supporters back in at Celtic Park will be great. Likewise, when we go to Ibrox, we'll have our allocation as well.
Look, first and foremost, I'm delighted fans are back. In terms of trouble off it doesn't concern me. I'm sure the fans will come and they'll support us, the 2,500. They'll come and they'll demand a performance from us. In terms of trouble, doesn't concern me. in terms of, I know what their fans are like. They'll come and they'll get right behind us, and I'm just happy that there's a bit of change now, and hopefully going forward, maybe in the future, we could start to see a bit more coming back.
It's going to be some game. There's the two managers ahead of the Old Firm derby later this afternoon. The Dundee derby. It's Dundee. It's at Tannadice. I was just checking which ground it's at. I knew it was one of those in Tannadice Street. Václav Černý, what a game he had at the weekend. Stephen, he's put in the miles for Rangers. It'll take a lot out of him, but a player who is on form.
Yeah, as I said, I thought he was Rangers' standout player. By a mile, the biggest threat to Fenerbahce the other night. The first half in particular, he was unplayable, and he will be the danger man. Obviously, Jeffrey Schlupp coming up against Elise in Munich in a hard task. He's going to have his hands full again with Černý today, and if he can win that particular battle, Craig was talking about individual battles being important. If Jeffrey Schlupp comes out on top, then Celtic will win today.
Jota was in great form a couple of years ago in this fixture many times, Craig. He's something you'd be looking out for. Who does Barry have on him this afternoon?
Well, again, I mean, whoever is assigned the task, Paul, Jota is a player that not only with the ball but without the ball, I think offers so much. Come back and has probably hit the ground running quicker than a lot of people expected. Also, it's an important duel, the wide areas in particular, because it's normally the areas that Celtic really look to try and expose teams. So Rangers need to be strong in those areas.
There's the Celtic manager coming out with that top that he has.
Yeah.
It's not the shirt and tie. Just to his left, Barry Ferguson with the shirt and tie, who is going to be the happier manager this afternoon. It's going to be some game. It's the last one at Celtic Park for this season. There's still to come at Ibrox. Just looking at Barry there, the cameras round him, Craig, as you would expect. Looks calm at the moment. It could just take a moment.
Yeah, wait till that whistle goes.
He's acted a figure. In the last game, when Celtic won 3-0 at Celtic Park, he was sitting in the front row of the director's box and the cameras went on him. He is Mr. Rangers. He's a huge figure at that football club, and he brings attention. That's what he's box office.
Number 7, Jota, the camera's on him. 3 goals, 1 assist already. I mean, that's a comeback that wasn't expected. His name used to come up, Stephen, but it was such a waste, wasn't it? 25 million, great deal for him and for the club, but doing nothing there. He's back and he's in the Old Firm derby.
Yeah, he seems like a boy that cares about his football. You know, he doesn't look as if he's a guy that's been away for 18 months counting his money. He's kept himself really fit and he's hit the ground running at Celtic, and he will want to announce himself back in this fixture.
Stephen McLean's the referee. I think Rangers won the toss there, Craig. You used to do it as Rangers captain. I think they've opted to stay as they are, so they're obviously playing away from the Rangers end towards the Celtic fans, I think.
Away from home, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter, does it? They're everywhere. Yeah, exactly. But it's the old Celtic end Rangers end. You don't really hear that anymore, but that's what it was when you were there, as the Celtic fans sing, "You'll never walk alone." It's live, of course, on Sky and also here on the Go Radio Football Show. We're just keeping you up to date with what's happening in the Old Firm derby, the Glasgow derby. Stephen?
I do. I mean, maybe I'm just a football fantasist, but you do get that. I mean, I was at the game last year. Celtic were 2-1 up. John Lundstrom had been sent off. Rangers really came into it in the last 10-15. There was a bit of nerves about, and there wasn't that usual away support that would maybe suck it. I do think it makes it, and it's great to see it back. I think it's a proper allocation as well. I don't think it's, I mean, when it's 800, it looks like, what's the point? It looks like a proper European allocation, and as I said, it's back.
Hopefully more also in the future. I know it is a great allocation, but if we can get a little bit more, it'd be fantastic.
It's a huge police operation today as well. We hope that things are going okay. There was trouble the last time. So there's the referee just looking, waiting for the signal from Sky. Celtic playing from left to right as we look from the main stand. Rangers then for playing right to left as Raskan plays it all the way back to John Souttar. What about his performance the other night again?
Huge. If John Souttar can stay fit, the influence he can have on this football team is enormous. A proper defender, puts his body on the line, has a presence. Early free kick for Rangers, it looks like.
It does indeed. Free kick. Executive producer James put his body on the line. He's here. He could have been at the game. Late ticket, but he is here. So it's going to be a free kick. So over it is Václav Černý and also the captain James Tavernier, who Stephen was also, he's back to form.
Yeah, I think it's ideal for Rangers in terms of, we spoke about the importance, even maybe the time they can just take over this free kick. Because I don't think Rangers will want to give Celtic much chance to get after them early in the game, really press, spend a bit of time in this free kick and spend time in Celtic's half.
Because Celtic often start at rocket pace as the ball's played in. Jeffrey Schlupp plays it out to play.
Good clearance.
It's gonna be a corner kick.
Good clearance, no nonsense ball. Tav puts it in a decent area. Schlupp, no chances, clears. First corner of the match for Rangers. But you're right, Stephen. It's like, I think the important thing for Rangers is to try and nullify the tempo of the game and the intensity that Celtic will want to have.
So it's going to be a corner kick for Rangers. 1 minute, 15 seconds gone. Balogun's up there. So too, as you would imagine, is Dezers. Some height as it's swept in. Headed away again by Schlupp this time. It's going to be a throw in.
Do you know what I like about Schlupp? And obviously you couldn't play the level he's played at for the years without being a really good player. But he does all the basics really well. When he has to, he clears, as Craig says, proper clearances, proper headers. He's been a real solid addition for Celtic.
Top professional.
A bit like Barry said he liked that as well. For example, from Balogun, that he just does the
no nonsense defending is what it's all about.
It's going to be a no nonsense throw in from James Tavernier at the far side, deep into the box, headed by Navarroke, I think, for his first touch, I think, of the match, as Rangers try to come forward. Ball still in play down at the corner flag. It's going to be a throw into Rangers. First couple of minutes, very, very early, Craig, but Barry will not be unhappy with this.
Again, if you're in your opponent's half. It's almost like as if you're coming to the end of the game and the clock's been wound down. First 2 minutes, just stuck in the corner at the moment, it has been.
Just as an away team, you imagine the noise if Celtic had this first couple of minutes with the free kick and corner and throw-ins and just real period of time in Rangers' final third.
Another long throw in, headed away firmly there to the edge of the box. It's still Rangers coming forward. Diomande plays it for Raskin. A shot from Raskin, and what a save!
Save, by the way, from Schmeichel. Like to see this strike again. It falls to Raskin, just at the edge of the box, left foot, strikes it well. Schmeichel gets a decent sighting of it, but pulls off a really good save down to his right hand side. Corner to Rangers.
Stephen McGinn, 3 minutes gone. It's been all Rangers.
Yeah, I don't think they're not going to make any apologies for it. They're going to come and just keep things going forward and try and win second balls and make contacts and then move on to it. Raskin's there. He's good at picking up the second balls in these games and gets his shot away.
Raskin shot. It's just Rangers' third corner in 3 minutes into the box. It's Rangers a goal. Rangers have scored. Rangers have gone one up. 3 minutes, 15 seconds gone, and it's Raskin has scored. One of the smallest men on the park.
The smallest man that was on the move, Paul, which is the most important thing there. Corner comes in. The delivery is very good, but Raskin's on the move, manages to get in front of Celtic's front man. Glancing header to the far post. Nobody on the post for Celtic, and a great finish in the end for Raskin. Rangers 1-0 up.
It's a huge reason why you should have someone in the back post, in terms of you're just standing there, you clear it. Obviously, it's your own prerogative to how you set it up, but Raskin, he's on the move, as Craig said. It's a brilliant header. I think he's actually caught by surprise. He scored.
He's just trying to help it on.
Yeah, he's rolling it. I think it's just to get the first contact, not too much contact, just a little glance, and he's surprised when he actually turns around and thinks that's gone in. So, as you said, what a start for Rangers.
But Stephen, it's just a movement there, because again, if you match up Raskin and Schlupp's winning a header all day long, but Raskin was on the move and got the march ahead of him. Fantastic.
Celtic haven't got started. You're absolutely right. There was that moment.
They weren't allowed to be started. Okay. Everything was the challenge. Like here, right, Celtic are trying to build up a little bit of steam in the game.
A crazy ball, sorry. Back there from McCown, putting pressure there on the goalkeeper who's played it out to Schlupp. Sorry, Stephen, I jumped in there because it looked as though it was a slip up. But Celtic coming forward. But you're right, Rangers haven't given them a second, have they?
It's really aggressive from Rangers as well, though. You look at the thing I spoke about there at the halfway line, Balogun versus Coon, with a whole half of the pitch. So it'll be interesting to see, do they maybe drop off after the initial 10-15? Does the game plan change because they've got that goal? Rangers
scoring in 4 minutes, the corner kick from James Tavernier, and there was that glancing header, great movement from Nico Raskin. So when scoring first at Celtic, 22 games, wins 18, draws 4, defeats 0.
Stat that.
Yeah, isn't it? So that's the stat. So whoever scores first, normally.
No, just for Rangers.
Oh, for Rangers, just right. Thank you. Well
22
done.
Unbeaten when they've scored first.
That's why you're on the telly doing it these days as well. But we're delighted you're here today for the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. And Barry's out there trackside. Brendan Rodgers, you saw him just standing, looking, thinking. I'm sure he'll have a plan here. But Celtic have not got started, and it's a poor ball. Alistair Johnson, but he recovers. We're watching it. It's live on Sky. Stephen, you've spotted something there.
No, it's just that I mean Rangers are trying to condense the pitch to one half.
Great ball chance here for Celtic, just past the post. Dyson Maeda. Sorry, Stephen.
Offside.
I'm just so Rangers are making that with the 5-4-1. The other side, even then, they can't afford to let players like Rio Hatate get their head up. I think he's onside. If that goes to VR, you've got that option of the switch and Maeda in behind. So I think if they're going to try and condense the pitch, they're going to have to get contact.
Have to have pressure on the ball so they can keep Celtic's players head down. Head up, you've got to drop off, Stephen, yeah?
Yeah.
What does Celtic need to do now? Clearly, it's to score a goal, but it's just to get involved in the game. They did there a moment ago, Stephen, as you mentioned.
The previous fixture here at Celtic Park, they started to throw warning signs. You remember the offside goal and that. I think Brendan Rodgers will be pleased, even just in that attack, that they've showed early they can hurt Rangers.
Celtic have lost the ball again, just at the halfway line. Diomande did so well for Rangers. Maybe not a poor ball, but it wasn't threaded through, and Celtic in possession. Ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw in, I think. It's
a free kick to Celtic, but what I spoke about, Luke McCown's trying to get his head up to find Coon. Conor Barron's never going to be booked for that type of foul. You're just making contact, showing that you're there.
7 minutes gone as the cameras go on to Brendan Rodgers. Uncharacteristically, a goal down at home to Rangers. Rangers haven't won here in a couple of seasons. We mentioned it the other day, I think 3 years. Celtic come forward, chance for Mather, just too much on it. Craig, that was a chance.
And again, the little bit of time, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic pass, is very, very unlucky. But Maeda exposing the lack of pace at the back for Rangers. Butland, for me, he does well there, but he's got to have a higher starting position for me, and makes it a lot easier.
See after the first couple of minutes, you're 1-0 up. See if you're John Souttar there. Do you take an extra 5 yards deeper now, Craig? Because you've had a couple of warnings and you're thinking if these midfield players aren't going to get pressure on the ball.
I think the moment midfielders for Celtic have got the opportunity to get their head up, you absolutely have to respect that and drop off.
8 minutes gone. It's Rangers leading in the derby 1-0. The goal coming in 4 minutes as they come forward again. Václav Černý tries for some distance. It's worth it. It's past the post, but
tried the volley, the Buddy Holly, didn't he? It was one of those. It didn't quite happen. But you know exactly what he's doing. He's just trying to get it up and down, off target though.
Stephen McGinn.
Yeah, I mean it's Butland. He's fine. Dessers just peeling himself onto Navrocki. I don't think Butland's going to pass too many out this afternoon. And Dessers has did well. He's not trying to win it, he's just trying to get what he got in terms of bouncing. And Václav Černy's there for the second ball and not too far away.
Oh boy, Buddy Holly. It's not every day you see that.
No,
every day.
Okay. No, all right.
Okay.
Good stuff. Yeah, you're taking it too far now, or no?
I'll give you one more, but Celtic come forward. Hatate, what a show! What a save, Jack Butland. So great chance for Celtic, Stephen.
It's an unbelievable save from Jack Butland, but Celtic midfield players are getting a lot of joy here. They whether it's tiredness from the other night, they're really trying to get up against them, but quality from Coon, and it's reminiscent of his goal he scored a couple of years ago against Rangers from the same position. This time he's tried to reverse it, and really good save from Jack Butland.
Butland should save it, but it looked good. We'll watch this. Arnie Ingles, the £11 million signing last summer. So Celtic trying to get back into it. 1 goal in it, whips it in right into the box, headed away by Leon Balogun, comes all the way back to Ingles, who tries to head it. It's not a very good one. It's picked up by Václav Černý. He's got a throw-in to Rangers. That was could have been better from Ingles.
Yeah, I think Ingles should take a touch. I think Leon Balogun, I spoke about Rangers with set pieces. I thought it was a brilliant header in the middle of the box. He's going to be huge in those situations today, Leon Balogun.
They love to flood the space in front of the goalkeeper now at set pieces, in corners in particular, in swinging corners. It was a good delivery, but Rangers defended it well enough.
Celtic beginning to come back into it now. We've only played 10 minutes. So much has happened. Rangers with a good chance with Nico Raskin, and a moment later, but a mistake there. So it's played. Maeda plays it to Coon. Coon can't control it. He's got John Souttar with him. He's also got Rid van Yilmaz. He plays it back. Comes to Ingles, who plays it to the left. Schlupp. We're watching on Sky. It's the Go Radio Football Show. Here's Jota, one of his first touches of the early Sunday afternoon. Plays it to Jeffrey Schlupp. Schlupp's looking for the return to Jota. Jota goes to the byline. He's got to win a corner. Sterling did well there. Stephen McGinn.
Yeah, it was just giving Balogun a compliment, but really slack. You can't be having square passes with Dyson Maeda about. He's on it. And Kuhn, I think he maybe loses his footing, or else it's a really good situation for Celtic. But another corner for Engels to deliver.
Navrocki comes up here. If you just tuned in, Trusty is at the maternity unit with his partner, and Liam Scales didn't make it, so Navrocki is in. Could it be his moment of magic as we look for this corner coming in?
No one on the back post either, Stephen. Again, just in terms of you look at the first goal for Rangers, they're also not having anybody on the post.
Stephen McLean saying to Butland and Alistair Johnson, the mince pies are on you. I'm watching you. What are you up to? Here comes the ball into the box, headed away. Off the head of Carter Vickers, went for it, but it comes off Balogun. It's going to be a throw in for Celtic. Craig, what are you seeing?
Again, good delivery. You really need to be focused. Rangers managed to get the headed clearance. I think it was Balogun, but Celtic in a territory at the moment in Rangers half.
Kuhn, nothing came from it there. Stephen, we haven't seen much from him yet. We'll talk about him shortly as Vaclav Černý gets control of the ball. He gets away from Kuhn. He's really persistent, knocks it out wide to his captain. Tries to thread it through, Stephen, but it comes off Schlupp.
That's frustrating. That's a bit where even on Thursday night the supporters got a little bit frustrated with Černý.
Why?
Because he goes out to where he should go out 5 seconds earlier. Sometimes you release the ball quicker. Right. There's an area, a time and a place where you can do your bit.
Too many touches?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Craig Moore and Stephen McGinn making his debut in this format, where we're watching this excellent coverage from the Sky as we get the close-up of Barry. Are you enjoying it so far in terms of the
do you know what else? They have had a very good start, even to the point of Raskin's actually played a ball that the players have all walked away thinking it's going to go in the goal kick. It's hit the corner flag and a throw in deep in position that led to the goal where Rangers forced Celtic not to get out.
Yeah.
Conor Barron just caught Rio Hatate. I was said to him, you'll not get booked, but he needs to be careful. There's a couple now.
Sure. Repeating fouls.
Yeah.
Hatate could be so vital. I saw a great shot from him a few moments ago. 12 minutes 45 seconds gone in the Old Firm derby. Celtic 0, Rangers 1. Nico Raskin header after 4 minutes. Why did Rangers not have anyone in the back post either? Is this the new thing?
Again, down to I don't know. And is it the goalkeeper coach that decides on that, or the head coach?
It's because set pieces are a big focus. Sometimes you feel like everybody's back. Some teams don't have anyone back, and then you still don't have someone in the post. Back, and you sound like a dinosaur when you say back when we were playing, but when you were playing, you always felt you wanted someone up the pitch. You always wanted someone in the back post, and trust your guys in the middle to go and compete and win headers.
I know you played way back in 2024 up till May.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel very old.
No, and we're just seeing there from a drone the position of Raskin and the Celtic defence for that goal. What a start for Barry Ferguson though, Craig. Are you on Barry watch here? Just say yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he obviously celebrated, but not crazy. It was good. It's a perfect way for Rangers to have been able to start. Celtic have shown a decent response though, Paul, in terms of coming back into the match.
Yeah, this will suit Rangers. There's just a bit of time being wasted there. Normally, Ange ball, Stephen, the ball was always with the ball boys and girls had to get it in, but it seemed to be that Jota kicked it away there.
But Navrocki, he doesn't look comfortable with those long balls. I said I expected Rangers, Jack Butland, to just kick everything up to Dessers and try and get up in the second balls. Old fashioned up to your target striker and get up in the second balls, miss out the Celtic press. But Navrocki looks really uncomfortable the first contact.
There's 16 points between these two. It doesn't look it so far, Stephen, does it?
No, well, you can see Celtic have lost a little bit of their rhythm without their captain. I know Rangers did a good job on him. Ibrox, he's a huge part of their build-up play and probably just getting to grips with how the game's looking. But I think McCowan in particular, I think he started really bright in the game.
Yep, so much goes through Callum McGregor, who had controlled these. Cantwell, so many others have tried last season and before to stop him, but they haven't managed. It's going to be a free kick for Celtic just inside their own half, up near the halfway line.
I think there's a bit, the Celtic crowd are getting a bit. So Barron said 2 now. Raskin, that's easily something that could be looked at as a booking. I think the crowd are starting to get after Stephen McLennan point of don't let Rangers just break up the rhythm here, and there's a bit of skill when they're getting a head up, you're just pulling them back. It might lead to a booking for the next one.
Yellow ticket coming soon then, Stephen, you think?
Yes. He's messaged referee Stephen McLean on VAR is going to be John Beaton as Celtic try to come forward, but it breaks down again, and Schlupp plays it 40 yards back to the Danish international goalkeeper, a winner in England with Leicester City. But Schmeichel's made a mistake. Černý Chance for goal number 2 must be Czerny.
I
plays
can't
it
believe
in.
I've just seen.
Nah, that's bonkers, Czerny.
What?
He's got to take. There's a mistake in the build-up from Celtic.
It's really, really poor from Kasper Schmeichel. It's slack. It's never getting there.
But
I can't
finish it.
believe he's not scored.
Wow.
He wants to walk it into the net. Schmeichel should have been punished for the mistake. It's very unlike him, but Czerny has an empty goal. He wants to take touch.
Is that because he doesn't trust his right foot?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he's got to take it. It's an empty goal.
Stephen, what's Schmeichel thinking?
Slack. It's the way Celtic have been at the back so far. They've not had the Rangers definitely won the battle in that end of the pitch, but Celtic have absolutely got away with one there.
I looked away for half a second going on about Schmeichel winning championships, and he's made such a mess of it there, and Rangers had a chance. Vaclav Czerny, will they regret it, or is it going to be part of Rangers' performance this afternoon? At the moment, 16 and a half minutes gone, Rangers are 1 up, so Celtic now looking to try to impose themselves at home on this game. Here comes Jota down the left. He's got Sterling with him. He's also got Tavernier. Tavernier wins out. The experience of the Rangers captain. He just dinks it forward to Raskan, the scorer for Rangers. Raskan gets away from Maeda as he plays it out to...
That's a bit, I think, when Rangers are playing that back five, because Tavernier's used to being a right back, he's so much more comfortable. That worked in a brilliant. Jota has Sterling in a one-on-one situation, but James Tavernier's used to being out there. He's excellent on the cover.
I think, again, that, and not for so much Celtic there, but again, that moment for 2v1 against Jota and Rangers coming up trumps will give them a lot of confidence, and it quietens Celtic down a little bit.
Quite a bit there.
Yeah, no,
that was a dramatic pause there.
It was after
Craig
a lot
Moore,
of it.
the adopted Scot, the Australian international, former Crystal Palace, Newcastle United, Borussia Mönchen, Gladbach, and many more. And of course, not least Rangers and Australia. As the ball's played back to Jack Butland, who was in top form. He was the goalkeeping hero for Rangers in the penalties just a couple of nights ago. But it's a poor clearance down the left to Jota. Jota goes down. Was that a free kick? Jota thinks so. I think the referee's saying play on. James Tavernier saying,
I think he's given a throw.
Yeah, I don't think it's a foul, but it's hit Jota, who's off the pitch. It's the right decision, I think, from Stephen McLean. None of the Rangers players aren't. They're maybe not aware that Jota was off the pitch when Balogun kicks the ball off him.
Jota feels Tavernier's arm was around him. Yeah, they've kicked the ball off him. Yeah, there's a bit of needle coming into it now.
It started from a poor clearance, Paul, from Butland, and Tavernier tried to keep it in, and it caused his own problem.
Here's Schlupp. It's a really poor ball. He wins the throw in.
It's amazing. I mean, two of the most experienced players in the pitch, maybe the goalkeepers. Within the last couple of minutes, they've both caused real panic for their sides.
Not a fan. Lots of people are not fans of this. Knocking the ball out to the back. Get the ball up the pitch sometimes. And nearly.
Not fans of goalkeepers. I thought you were
No, it's the way they knock the ball about, and they're both capable of making mistakes.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to gift your opponent like a freebie. You know what I mean? So you've got to be really careful in the build-up.
Luke McCown there looked to do well, but it is actually a poor ball, and it's going to be a throw-in. Is it for Celtic? Barry Ferguson's looking for.
No, but it's absolutely brilliant to part Diamande place.
Okay. What did he do?
Because Kuhn has got the grass in behind the Balogun. Yes. So if he doesn't, what we spoke about, if Luke McCown's able to get his head up and make proper contact, Rangers are banging trouble. Brilliant midfield play.
Rangers are 1 up if you're just tuning in. 19 minutes gone here at the Go Radio Football Show with our friends at Burger King. This is a whopper so far in terms of it's non-stop. As Celtic tried to, it's only 1 goal in it. There's definitely more goals, guys. Yeah, would you agree? You're hoping not.
But there are, Paul. I mean, look, Rangers, and they won't apologise for it, have been quite direct in this match, but they have looked to press and play off of Celtic mistakes, which they have made a couple. But at the same time, when Celtic have got their territory up the park and all that sort of stuff, they've caused Rangers problems as well.
Barry Ferguson performance so far?
He'd be delighted with the start. Absolutely delighted with the start.
I mean, 2 years ago, as I mentioned, in this game, the February game, he was in that position where you are, Craig, and he was going nuts. Yeah. Celtic went 2 up, as you know, very early on. And they weren't paying attention. They were casual, whereas his team look, if anything, the sharper. But here comes Celtic down the right. Alistair Johnson plays it out to Nicholas Kuhn. Kuhn plays it back to Johnson, the overlap. Plays it in looking for Luke McCown. Stephen, it's going to be a throw-in.
I mean, Celtic switch the ball, and Kuhn and Johnson, when they're teaming up like that, they're brilliant. Johnson on the outside. Balogun's almost set his stance and saying, I'm here. And I think if they could have missed him out, Dyson Maeda was on for a tap-in.
Got your coffee okay from James? You got yours? Cup of tea? Here we go. Pie's ready for half-time. Fans are like, what's going to happen here? Celtic down the right, just too much on it there for Nicholas Coon, Alistair Johnson. You mentioned that combination, but it didn't work on that occasion.
See when Craig said about Rangers being quite direct. See when you see the difference in the domestic form and the European form, and like now you're looking at them should never be 16 points adrift when you think of who Rangers play against domestically. Is there a case that instead of building up at home, do they just hit Dessers against home to Motherwell, at home to Queen's Park? Do they want the ball in that half and just... I know there's maybe an honest modern day where you have to build the game, but Rangers are more suited to playing like this.
Great point. Craig, what would you say?
I say that you play to the players that you have and to what they're best at. I mean, sometimes there are teams that will look to overplay, and it can actually cause pressure on your own team. If you get the ball forward as quick as possible, in the safest way possible has always been the way that I was taught.
The away fans are back for the first time, and everybody is so pleased to see it, that they're back. 2,500 Rangers fans at the far side there, and it does add to the atmosphere as both sets of fans spark off. I think the Rangers fans were in about 10:30 this morning, but they'll not be unhappy, as at the moment, with 20 nearly at the halfway mark in the first half, Rangers leading by 1-0. Nico Raskin, glancing header after just 4 minutes. Here's Jeffrey Schlupp on loan from Crystal Palace, throws the ball back to Nawrocki, who plays it back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel dinks it out to the right to the Canadian international Alistair Johnson. He tries to play it back, but with it comes off of Cyril Dessers. Celtic just not looking as well-oiled as they normally do, Stephen. Would that be fair?
No, absolutely not. But they're having to work hard to build any sort of... Rangers players are working really hard. It'd be interesting to see if they can keep up at this pace. Dessers there, he's covering Carter Vickers, then he's covering Alistair Johnson, and back to Carter Vickers. So there'll be a bit of calmness as well in terms of Brendan Rodgers and saying they'll not be able to keep this up.
Celtic haven't played since the cup game as they come forward. Long ball played through to Dyson Maeda, now down the right, but it's played into touch by John Suter. He's smiling at
Maeda's a great player.
Yep.
But he's trying to produce a twirly-whirly there. I don't know what he was doing. That's not his game.
Here's Luke McCowan. The blonde locks of him at the moment. Plays it to Carter Vickers. Back to McCowan, but no understanding there. Ridvan's going to let it go out of play. Yeah, still there. Yeah, still... It's going to be McCowan shouts, get up, Ridvan chap, as the ball is taken quickly to Nicholas Coon. Coon looks up, what's on for him, but it's a poor ball, Stephen.
He has been poor. He's had 2 or 3 occasions where he's coming in, and early in the season you're thinking Rangers are in trouble or another team in trouble. He just needs to tidy up a bit in his game.
Does. The manager, I would imagine, would not be happy there. But Nawrocki plays it forward to Schlupp. Schlupp, though, is brought down by James Tavernier. Is it going to be the first yellow card?
Again, you can hear the Celtic fans. They're almost, there's a demand on this next foul again to be yellow card. Stephen McLean's keeping calm for now.
You're maybe demanding the players actually to start playing.
It's because I mean they are trying to get up, but it's stopping an attack, so you can understand the Celtic fans' frustration.
Good ball through to Alistair Johnson, edge of the box, wins the corner. I take your point, and this is Barry who said to them, look, make it difficult for them. Stephen, what have you spotted?
No, it was just Nico Raskin's right. Balogun has to come out with Alistair Johnson there. He's tucking in with Dyson Maeda, and Nico Raskin's done brilliantly to make sure Alistair Johnson can't get the ball across.
Great insight from 2 top professionals with us. That was the voice of Stephen McGinn, and Craig Moore is with us here in the Go Radio Football Show studio. Corner kick to Celtic then. Rangers' goal came from a corner kick. What can Celtic do? Ingles, right-footed, into the box, but it's way, way over the top from Carter Vickers. So
it was a chance. It's absolutely a chance. I mean, Balogun's won the first 2 battles, but Cameron Carter Vickers will be disappointed when he sees that one back.
Bit high for him, and good pressure on the challenge, which makes it not easy, but certainly a half chance.
Yep. Barry whistles, the cameras are on him, up close, and says, oh, I'll be happy so far. He does, he's very active, isn't he? He's almost...
He's shown to be very active on the sidelines and passionate, emotions he's shown. This game, he's got to keep all of that in check. But again, like I said, Celtic have just started to come in a little bit in terms of, the threat in behind, a couple of times getting down Rangers' left-hand side. So Rangers need to tighten up for sure in those areas.
As Celtic tried to get a period of play of possession, but back to Nawrocki, straight back to the goalkeeper.
But the difference there when Jack Butland went long is he hit Czerny on Nawrocki. If you're Cyril Dessers, you're wanting Cyril Dessers to say, right, you let me deal with that.
Here come Rangers. Schmeichel knocks out of play. Rangers take it quickly. The throw in. Czerny into the box. Tries to thread it through to Diamonde. It's going to be a corner kick to Rangers. Rangers look faster, sharper, first to the ball.
Yeah, but again, your pet hate there, Paul, in terms of Schmeichel.
Yeah.
He looking to try and play out. I know he's trying to get to his fullback. Goes out. Rangers, quick throw. Czerny gets isolated. Gets a corner from it.
Yep, it's going to be a corner kick then. And Rangers, remember, scored the corner kick from the other side. So this is down where the Rangers fans are at the moment. It's going to be right-footed from the captain, James Tavernier. 26 minutes gone. Here it comes. Right-footed, edge of the box. Great chance. Great, just knocked off the line. Oh, that was really close.
But look, again, very, very close. I'm not sure who gets the glancing header. Is it Balogun? It comes to the back post.
It's a good save.
Yeah, a good save in the end. Who does it come off of here?
Arnie Engels.
Engels, who's trying to keep his hands clear, which he does. And Celtic managed to scramble the ball away from a very dangerous moment.
Stephen, the set pieces are punishing Celtic.
Yes, but also, I mean, Kasper Schmeichel makes a good save there, but it's slack in the build-up in terms of encouraging Rangers onto them from these set pieces.
As Rangers come forward again, another corner kick. Still there, chance. Dessers. Oh, he can't get on to the end of it, but it goes to Czerny. Inside the box still. Czerny, he's tackled by Jota. I think it's gone out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. Stephen.
Well, I rate Vaclav Czerny, but sometimes he wants to score the perfect goal or the perfect action there. It was on for Czerny just to get out his feet. And the big boys are still up. Suter's still up. Balogun's still up. Just put it back in the area. You see the goal Kilmarnock scored yesterday. All Kilmarnock did was they just kept it alive and just kept making Hibs defend. They get their point.
Keep putting it in those areas. Like Czerny, that's the one frustrating thing. Is he has the ability to go by people. Hang on, Rangers got another chance here.
Celtic have lost possession again from playing it out from the back, and Rangers did, but it was cleared then. Craig, that was another opportunity.
And again, just overplaying. Celtic are causing their own problems, and Rangers are in a situation where they're looking to play off of those because Rangers are being more direct.
Stephen, is this more like Rangers' performance so far with 28 minutes gone has been, it's almost picture perfect.
They've got it exactly how they want it to look like. Yes. Celtic they don't look as confident in the build-up without Callum McGregor in there.
As Jack Butland thumps the ball up over the halfway line. It's headed down by Cameron Carter-Vickers, but he loses possession. It wasn't him, but it was, I think Engels couldn't get the top of it. So Rangers coming forward. It's going to be, still in play. Luke McCowan. He's being tackled by Diamande. It's still McCowan. It's been an infringement. It's going to be, was that a free kick for Celtic?
I actually think Stephen McLean doesn't need to. Luke McCowan's been very honest there. He's actually, he hasn't gone for the initial dive. I think he's tried to play it out.
He has. But I'm like, in terms of don't give them a foul there. Just stay on your feet, Diamande. It's soft. Celtic were deep into their corner, and now they get a free exit.
Rangers are putting Celtic under so much pressure, and Celtic are making a lot of mistakes at the back.
Well, again, just the pressure can do that, and then all of a sudden things got to do a lot quicker. But at the same time, Paul, Maeda's done the same now a couple of times with Balogun.
Good point. Alistair Johnson is tackled by Raskin. It's going to be a throw-in for Celtic midway inside the Rangers half. Rangers 1 up after 29 minutes in the Old Firm derby. Later this afternoon, it's going to be Liverpool, Newcastle, the League Cup, Carabao Cup final down south. And there's Dundee United against Dundee as Nicholas Kuhn. Good ball through to Johnson. Johnson in for Maeda, but it's cleared by Rangers doing their job at the back. It's bobbing about with Carter-Vickers. It's Nicholas Kuhn, Stephen, has yet to turn up and really do anything of any note. But here's Jeffrey Schlupp to Arnie Engels. Engels looks up. What are the options? Out to the right to Johnson. Johnson to Kuhn. Can he cut inside? He just knocks it to Arnie Engels. Engels, 30 yards out, goes for the shot. But that was too high, too wide.
If you're a Rangers midfielder, defender, you're saying Arnie Engels, 25, 30 yards for goal. Go and hit that with your left foot.
Yep.
Go and hit your World Cup. Because it was the first kind of period in the last 5 minutes Celtic spent time in Rangers' final third, and he's just let them off the hook.
What are we seeing in the attacking areas on Sky? 25%.
Well, for Celtic, mate, it's 63% down the right-hand side. Majority of it is coming down the right-hand side, Paul.
Okay, thank you for analysing that so well, Craig. What are you feeling just now? You're a bit frustrated there.
No, but again, Rangers have had a very good start, but at 1-0, it's still very much game on. But I'm still sort of like thinking about the Czerny opportunity with the open goal. be decisive and back yourself. Wanted that extra touches. And Paul, I know how dangerous Celtic are in terms of the players they've got out there. So yeah, that's a concern.
Celtic go into it 16 points clear, but there are Celtic fans who are saying they've not played at their very best. Maybe for some time, people like Engels, not so much Engels, sorry, Coon, but let's see, a lot of football still to go. We're just 1/3 through this game as Schlupp.
Craig
clears.
was speaking about maybe Rangers going with the 4-4-2. You're thinking about maybe Celtic. Is that something they might consider in terms of not having McGregor, not having Paulo Bernardo?
Mm-hmm.
Would you then go Adamida up front beside Diaz and Maida? Because they're not really getting much space in that. Kind of Ernie Engels hasn't seen a lot of football in his own half.
Who do you take off then for Ida and that one? Have a think
It
about
would be
it.
Engels or McCowan.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Moving into the second half.
As McCowan does well there, plays it through to Hatate. Hatate, wasteful though, Stephen, plays the ball up but with no real purpose, and it's picked up by Conor Barron. Barron to Balogun. Balogun back to Barron, who Craig worked so hard. I know they all did the other night, 131 minutes by my reckoning, then went to penalties, but the ball goes all the way back to Schlupp. Schlupp plays it to Schmeichel. Schmeichel to CCV. CCV out to the right to Alistair Johnson. Rangers giving them space there, saying, yep, okay, bring it on at the moment. Up over the halfway line, Alistair Johnson to Nicholas Kuhn. Kuhn, can he do anything? He has to check back, looks up, what are the options? He's got Jota.
That's Dessers again doing the tracking all the way back. It'd be a very hard shift for him to do that for 90 minutes.
Absolutely, especially after everything he gave the other night. At Ibrox, putting Fenerbahce out of the Europa League. Rangers will play Athletic Club of Bilbao, where the final will be. Do they dare to dream? Here comes Celtic to Hatate.
What happened there?
I think, is it offside?
Celtic took the quick throw in.
Yes.
Stephen McLean's made them put the other ball off.
Was there another ball on the pitch?
Right. Okay. So
the first angle they showed us didn't allow it for that, but I know that Celtic had taken the quick throw in.
They did indeed, and Hatate was in a dangerous position. But it's Celtic again. Cameron Carter-Vickers up over the halfway line to Nicholas Kuhn. Kuhn tries to check inside, but he's just brushed off the ball by Ridvan Yilmaz, who does brilliantly, plays it to Dessers. Dessers surging forward. He's got Ridvan on the left. He's got Czerny. Czerny just can't quite get to it. He's just inside the box, but he's still in possession. It's Czerny, turns, checks, and wins a corner kick to Rangers.
Starts from Ridvan, personal duel against Kuhn, wins the ball, plays it to Dessers, breaks forward. Dessers actually does very well, gets across. Is it Carter Vickers? The chasing defender. Plays a good ball to Czerny, a little bit heavy.
Yep.
But Rangers end up getting a corner out of it.
Corner kick, and they've caused all sorts of problems for Celtic, not least the Rangers goal in 4 minutes. Here it comes. So James Tavernier in that corner where there's 2,500 Rangers fans.
It's probably the best case scenario. I think that's Rangers a couple of times. That final pass, it's the hardest pass. I understand that, but the way a pass is taking it from a chance to only winning a corner.
Invincible Stephen McGinn as Balogun's up there creating havoc. Got a good header, but easily taken by Kasper Schmeichel. He falls as he tries to clear, but it is a good clearance in this case for Jota, the Portuguese star. Jota there.
There's the first card.
Yep, it's going to be a card. Yep, Stephen McLean looks, and he's going to book Sterling.
It's outstanding from Jota. The first touch, the close control was so good, and Sterling's got no option. He has to bring him down, he has to stop him, because Jota's at the heart of him.
And can I say something there as well?
Please do.
And we'll all agree, that's come from your goalkeeper. That's not from 4 or 5 passes out the back. It's realising that there's an opportunity further forward.
Yeah. Why is it so difficult?
A lot of the time, you see if I see 1v1, I think you're getting it forward to those spaces as quick as you possibly can. So there has to be an awareness from the players, the goalkeeper also.
Yeah, because Balogun, Suter, they're not the fastest. And Celtic with Maeda, with Kuhn and Jota. Right, so Celtic, free kick. How many? 30, 35 yards out, just left of the goals. It's just dinked forward. Horrendous ball, Stephen McGinn.
Kuhn.
Is that...
Yes, Nicholas Kuhn. Yeah, he's been so poor, but actually he doesn't usually take them.
No,
I was surprised to see him. Actually, I thought it was just a decoy for Engels to take it.
It had no pace on it. It was chipped to the back post. Celtic weren't set in terms of being able to capitalise on that. It's a free kick that was quite a waste for Celtic in a good area.
Mark's been on the socials, a Celtic fan, saying, am I missing something here? Do they not realise this is the derby? the Celtic players, not all of them, but he just flashed up there. Lackadaisical Coon, and he would hook him and make a change, bring on Adam Ida. Nicholas Coon, of course, who for the early part of the season was favourite to be player of the year. But it shows you still a lot of football to go. One team is 16 points ahead of the other, Craig. In some ways you must think, oh my goodness, what happened to Rangers? Why so many wasteful games early in the season? But that's why your friend Barry Ferguson's in the manager's chair.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's why, look, Rangers are in the position because they just haven't been able to knock out anything domestically that's consistently high enough a level. These games tend to look after themselves, Paul. Yeah. Obviously, both managers want to win. Both sets of supporters want to win. Barry will be delighted 36 minutes into this one, the start that Rangers have had.
Rangers fans will be loving it, but there's another put ball from Schmeichel. He's really off it this afternoon in terms of his distribution. I know he's not happy, Stephen, with his own player there, but he puts
that's
in
the
danger.
first time. Cameron Carter-Vickers was the ball, and I don't know why he didn't take charge of it, but Ridvan, credit to him, he's the one on the front foot and he gets the ball first and forces another throw in and deep in Celtic's half.
Rangers look more up for it, Stephen, would you agree?
Yeah, I don't mean it's not to give Celtic an out, but when you're that clear in the league, you're through to the semi-final. Recently, have they lost that little spark, that little edge they've been playing with?
As Rangers come forward, what a chance for goal number 2. It's in the back of the net. Rangers have scored. Diamandi, 37 minutes. Rangers 2, Celtic 0. Craig Moore.
They get themselves in a really good position. There's a great ball put forward. I'm seeing who it's come down to. Anyway, lifted back over the head into Diamandi, who does have time and space in the penalty box. I tell you what, doesn't he do well though? He picks the far corner. Rangers 2-0 up.
Celtic all over the place at the back. Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's ran off Andy Ingles. Cameron Carter-Vickers had to go with Raskin. It's a really clever header from Raskin, and really Diamandi to bring it down and get the purpose. That's a great finish.
It's forward run. Was it forward run from Raskin?
Yes.
Not matched by the midfielder. Carter-Vickers, to be fair, is a central defender, Stephen. I don't know much more he can do. He tries to come across as late as possible.
Because Engels doesn't track the run, he has to go.
Which then allows a little bit of space for Diamandi, who doesn't need much of an invitation, finishes it very well into the bottom right-hand corner.
Barry Ferguson just puts his arm up, one first of all, then two, just looks up to the Rangers fans, and my goodness, he's giving them an afternoon to remember. 38 minutes gone, and it's Rangers 2 up against the team who are champions elect, 16 points ahead of them, but the way things are just now, it will be 13 points. Craig, did you start to get the calculator out? No, it's not possible, but Rangers' performance this afternoon is... Well,
I mean, look, it's been very good. Obviously, they got off to the perfect start with the early goal. There's been no excuse from there. Celtic have had and still will show moments in this game where there's danger, so Rangers have got to be switched on.
Can Celtic do it now? Down the right to Johnson to Coon. Coon just plays it back to Engels. Down the right. Hatate, it's a trip. Balogun.
Offside.
Lucky. Flag's gone up. Lucky because that was a...
lucky because, again, he's had a few and again, probably too easy as well, Paul. You don't need to be that tight. Hatate just rolls Balogun because he's so tight. Offside, though, in the end.
Yeah. Just seeing the replay here on
Sky. And he's not offside.
He's not.
He's not offside.
No.
It's not that close. He saves Balogun from getting a yellow card.
Yep.
Lucky boy.
Indeed. So, Ridvan Yilmaz on the floor. Maybe just, no point in... Why not run down the clock? So Celtic fans will be... What's the manager going to do? Barry Ferguson.
I just wondered, changes anyway. Barry Ferguson at the second goal grabbed Ridvan over. You wonder, has he said, look, we get in at half time, you're 2-0, this is huge, don't let Celtic get any sort of impetus before half time. Maybe just have a kind of sit down, don't let the physio come on, but have a sit down and really take the sting
out of the game. Yeah. Is it the dark arts? Is that what they call that?
Yeah, but everyone said a good manager, a good captain that is thinking like that.
Yeah, it's football. Yeah. It's trying to, I guess, push the boundaries in a way that is okay, Paul.
Here is, you're absolutely right. I mean, see, Jose Mourinho came into the Rangers dressing room afterwards, didn't he? That was class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He came in, I heard him shout, Fergie. He was busy with one of the players, and then they realised that Jose Mourinho came in the other night after Rangers. They won through the penalties, 3-2 for Rangers, as Celtic tried to come forward to get a vital goal back before half-time. It's going to be a push there.
A foul
it's going to be, Diamandi says, no, he's going to go down.
See that. I mean, maybe he's actually injured, but I do think Rangers 5 minutes to the break, maybe a couple of minutes added.
Of course.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Maeda and Raskin having.
That's right.
Maeda's desperate to get started.
Exactly. And Raskin's desperate to run down the clock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maeda might be thinking the way I'm thinking in terms of Ridvan's just doing it, Diamandi's doing it, because I actually think he's pretty fortunate not to get yellow carded. And he's had a couple. Diamandi there.
Think so? Yeah. So there's one yellow card so far, isn't there, in the game, which was issued
not too long ago. Was that for Dujon Sterling?
Yes.
And that was for the foul on Jota, who's getting a yellow card here as the referee's coming over to the bench.
The dugout. Who is it? Let's see. What? Is Barry Ferguson? Yellow card?
It looks as if he's got his first yellow card of the season.
Oh, he's not happy. But, we haven't seen what it was for. So Rangers 2 goals
didn't
up.
feel it was a foul on Ingles.
Maybe. He's saying, ¿Qué pasa? What's happened? Anyway, as it resumes, 3.5 minutes plus stoppage. Schlupp down the left to Jota. We've not seen Celtic on the attack much at all. But as Jota does well, gets away from Sterling. Chance for Celtic into the side netting.
Someone's just did a brilliant touch on it. I think it might be John Souttar. A goal-saving stop from John Souttar there.
But 1-on-1, Jota gets isolated. Sterling's he's on a yellow card, very careful. Does Souttar get a block or does it just go by? Yeah, he does, you're right.
Yeah, just gone past.
Brilliant pace from Jota to get him behind.
So this will be vital for Celtic to try to get a goal back. They're 2 goals down, 3 minutes to half time. It's going to be Arnie Engels, right footed. Whips it into the far post, too much on it, but it falls to Kuhn. Kuhn controls it well, plays it to Reo Hatate in the Japanese squad this week. He plays it to Schlupp, and Schlupp plays it all the way back. Stephen, is it me or is that the only option he had? But here's Celtic come down the right. Luke McCown. McCown plays it across the midfield to Nawrocki. Nawrocki out to the left. Engels coming forward. Plays it out to Jota. Jota whips it into the box. Maeda. Just over the top.
Wow, what a clearance
by Sterling. Wow, what a chance. Stephen?
Yeah, unbelievable clearance. It's a brilliant ball in from Jota. Dyson Maeda's on the move, similar to Raskin's in terms of that little glance, and that's another goal-saving stop from Sterling.
Craig Moore.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Rangers, they've just for the first time in the match sunk a little bit deep and invited a bit of pressure, but it's a fantastic ball in. Maeda, really good header. Sterling, fantastic clearance.
Great description as well. Whipped in by Engels. Chance for Celtic.
Free header again.
Great save there by the goalkeeper. A free header.
That's not a foul.
No. What are they saying a foul for?
I don't know. I don't think it is a foul. It's a brilliant reaction from whoever wins the foul, though.
Yeah.
Because Jota looks, I think it's Sterling again.
Let's see it again. So, yeah.
Why are they giving a foul as if Jota maybe had a high leg? But Nawrocki gets a free header.
It's a sitter, isn't it?
It's a free header, but comfortable for Butland in the end, and Rangers scrambled after that. 43.5 minutes, Paul. I mean, a couple of minutes there. There's not going to be too much time added on in this first half.
How's the blood pressure for you? You okay?
I'm pretty calm, yeah.
Are you sausage roll or pie at half time?
I think I'm sausage roll.
Think so?
Yeah.
Stephen? You're
I'm
an
not
athlete.
fussy, I'll have whatever.
Right at Greg's. Or McGee's. McGee's in here, isn't it? We've got, I think it is the McGee's actually. We've got the pies and sausage rolls. Minute to go, plus there'll be a few minutes stoppage. Rangers are 2 up. The cameras are showing you some Celtic fans saying, oh my goodness, what's happened to the team going for 13 out of 14 titles? And does it, I heard you saying it, Stephen, I'll ask you at half time, Craig. Maybe it does when there's not a jeopardy, but a chance here for Celtic.
That's not the first one from Balogun. Yep. Wow.
Yep, it's these crazy jeopardies at the back playing the ball.
Is that because he's playing on the left and he's uncomfortable taking it onto his left foot that he's constantly thinking back the way?
There's a chance, but Maeda didn't get to it. But here comes Celtic, minute to go till half time. But they're forced back. Rangers doing well, pressing them. Plays back to Nawrocki. Nawrocki to Carter Vickers. To Johnson, quickly out to Nicholas Kuhn. Can he get past Ridvan? No, he can't. Hasn't got past him all afternoon. And the ball's knocked out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Celtic. So Kuhn's saying there's an option for you. Plays it CCV out to Alistair Johnson. I'm just listening there. Sorry, 2 minutes I think added on. The ball's played back all the way to Schmeichel. Schmeichel out to the left, to the halfway line. Jeffrey Schlupp. Can Celtic move with any real purpose down the left? Poor by Schlupp, but he He's gone down, but it's Jota. Jota, 30 yards out, looks up, goes for the strike. What a strike. Not too far away, Stephen. Worth it.
Yeah, outstanding. I mean, when he first hit it, you thought he's not caught it well, but yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. He's did great control, little nutmeg on Tavernier, and he's just looked up. There's nothing on. Why not? He's had a go and really close in the end up.
Craig?
Well, you can see how dangerous and close it was because Butler's he's desperately trying to make a save there. It dips, unfortunately, just wide, but there's a danger right there of Jota and what he's capable of. Sorry,
Jota there looking the threat. Has he been the most dangerous for Celtic, Stephen?
Yeah, he's definitely been the danger man the last 10 minutes for Celtic. Need a lot more from Coon. I think there's a couple of players in the Celtic team just playing within themselves at the minute.
Yeah.
A little bit out of form, Coon, and it's showing.
Interesting to hear what the manager would say to them at half time. As Celtic now come forward, there's 45 seconds remaining of the 2-minute stoppage. Out to the right to Luke McCown. McCown, the former Dundee player who came at the end of the transfer window at the summertime. But it breaks down and Leon Balogun does well. 37 years old. Played the full 130 minutes the other night. As Celtic now try to come forward. Last throw of the dice in the first half. It's going to be a throw in. Barry Ferguson was seeing close up there. He's got a yellow card already. We couldn't see it on the telly. Neil McCann next to him.
I think he's signalling Neil McCann on the touchline. He's saying, Balogun, help it on. Get it forward. Don't be taking chances at the back there.
Is that the whistle? Or just, yes, think so. Can we? Yes, the whistle's gone. Half time. Wow. What a first half. Celtic 0, Rangers 2. Craig Moore.
And again, positive enough start for Rangers. Managed to capitalise early doors in that game. For then a decent period. Celtic were in it, Paul, but then Rangers got another chance. 2-0. They'll be delighted at half time. Celtic, do they make changes coming out for the second half?
We'll find out in a few moments. 2-0 Rangers.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. The Memphis Barbecue King Double is back. 2 flame grilled beef burgers layered with streaky bacon, slices of American cheese, smoky barbecue sauce, golden onion rings, and creamy mayo in a sesame bun. Let's go!
Halftime headlines. Rangers on fire. 2 up at halftime at Celtic Park. Some of the Celtic fans on saying so far the team have been dire. That's Benny, who has been on the socials at Go Football Show. Enjoy a bit of pie. Who wants first? In fact, Stephen, we'll come to you. Craig was on, so Craig, enjoy munching on those McGee's pies at the moment, or there might be Turks, one or the other. Stephen, what do you make of it half time? First of all, for Barry Ferguson's Rangers after the other night going to 130 minutes, that's quite a performance to be 2 up.
Dream stuff. It's a bit similar to kind of Istanbul when you're into the game and thinking Rangers will want to try and keep Celtic early, but right from the very start they win the kick-off. They get after Celtic. They keep them really pinned in. I think the goal comes in 4 minutes. For that full 4 minutes, they were making Celtic defend and just trying to ask questions of them. They get their goal, and from then on, I think they've rode the luck a little bit in terms of a couple of slack bits from Balogun, but when they play like that, when they play and get up on the second ball and miss out the press, they do look a better team, and I think they're well worthy of the lead. And be interesting to see what they do now in terms of moving into the second half.
Raskin got the shot away just a minute before. There should have been a warning for Celtic. Rangers with 3 corners in the first 2.5 minutes of play, and then it was at that third the ball came in, a glancing header. It came in from the far side. Glancing header. It was Tavernier's cross. It was immaculate. There's Raskin, and there was nobody on the far post, Craig, and Rangers 1 up.
Yeah, and look, I think the first half, there's early goal on 4 minutes as we touch on. Great ball in, but great movement from Raskin. But Rangers played the percentages, I think, much better in terms of, getting the ball forward into areas where they can look to try and cause problems. They played off the back of Celtic errors. There were a couple creeping into Rangers' game as well, Paul, in terms of Balogun with a couple of sloppy back passes that put his team under pressure. But I think Rangers have just been able to play a little bit more in Celtic's half.
Some would say Celtic haven't got started, but Rangers haven't allowed them really, did they? Rangers were on everything first. And look at the second goal, Stephen.
They've made mistakes constantly all day. Mistakes that, we give Celtic a lot of plaudits. Some top players in that Celtic team having really brilliant seasons. But if you don't do the basics properly, then Rangers are a good enough team to expose you. Doesn't matter, you're 16 points clear of them. They're nearest rivals. They're off the back of a real high from the other night. They will expose, I think, Arne Engels in that position where Callum McGregor would be switched off, runs off him. Kasper Schmeichel, for all his experience, has been untidy. Alistair Johnson, probably as poor as we've seen him in terms of on the ball. Nicholas Kuhn, not in the game. Interesting to see. We just spoke about it there. When does Adamida come on, and who does he come on for? What does it look like? Do you go with the two up front? Do you take one of your wingers off? Because as we say, you don't have a lot of attacking options.
Who would you take off now? Earlier on, you said maybe
it would be a toss up for me between Engels and McCowan. I'd probably just take off Engels and I would just go with McCowan and Hatate and go as more of a 4-4-2.
Craig, that goal by Diamonde showed great composure. I mean, in some ways,
Yeah, I tell you why it was brilliant, right? So good movement again from Raskin, but Engels does not see. He gets blindside. He makes a forward run. It's not matched. Then, unfortunately for Carter Vickers, he's trying to then fix things. He therefore has to come off or away from Diamonde, who has a nice kind of finish, but again, forward runs. The type of goal that actually Rangers have conceded many a time against Celtic, in terms of forward run. So they'll be disappointed with that. Either at some stage will come on. Do they change it to a 4-4-2 or does Brendan say, well, Kuhn's been very ineffective in this match?
We'll find out soon. Rangers are 2 up.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Save big with the £4.99 Kings Combo, featuring a selected burger, choice of a side and drink, exclusively on the Burger King app.
Let's go! Half-time in the derby. Rangers leading by 2-0. What's going to happen in the second 40? When will the manager being Brendan Rodgers, make changes at half-time, or a change? Will he bring on maybe a water? Would be great. Thank you. James is really looking after us here at half-time. Wow. Football, you never know what's going to happen, do you? I suppose the question's at half-time, can Celtic turn this round in the second half? Will they make a change early? Stephen, would you be tempted to bring Adamida on now? Because you could hook either, well, almost any of them, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think Brendan Rodgers will be tempted to make a statement. That isn't acceptable. I mean, Brendan Rodgers' record against Rangers is as good as anything ever in terms of how dominant he's been in the fixture. Coming into the game, we spoke off air, felt like Celtic have been complacent last few weeks. Every right in terms of that many points, clear. You could make a case for Rangers winning. I could never have made a case for it being 2-0 at half time in the manner of Celtic's performance. So yeah, never seems to surprise you, but Celtic, whatever the outcome of the game, Brendan Rodgers will absolutely demand to go up a few levels.
Yep, 2-0 at half time for Rangers. Stephen, what have you spotted?
You need to move channel to Sky Sports Football.
Down south. Right. Have we changed it? Okay. This is what Brendan Rodgers said the other night. He was asked then, about Rangers' success in Europe.
Yeah, I think it's congratulations to Rangers firstly to get to the quarter-final. I think that people will look in at what Celtic do and see it as being easy, but it's not easy. You play here, you manage here. A club like Celtic, it's high pressure. Every game is a must-win game. And that mentality, and like you say, a team in one of our rivals who has done well in Europe, and like you say, get to the quarter-finals, then it shows then the consistency and mentality of this team and how well they've been doing. But no, I think we're very focused on our own selves. And we want to be able to bring our performance to the game at the weekend and to see if we can extend our lead.
So that was Brendan Rodgers speaking yesterday ahead of the game. We're hearing that some of the Green Brigade haven't been allowed in to the ground this afternoon. Some of the Celtic fans will say, well, you're not missing much so far. Rangers have been, I don't know if dominant's the word, but just looked that bit sharper in the first half, and they've taken chances, chances.
Absolutely, Paul. Like I said, it was just, they had the brighter start, there's no doubt about that. From that start, they managed to get a goal, so that put them in a good position. Game settled quite a bit then. Celtic obviously showed their danger, but again, Rangers were able to capitalise and get the second goal. We're talking about Cooney in terms of maybe not the influence that he's had on the game, but I think it's more to do with how Rangers have actually worked and pressed and forced Celtic into errors.
Can Barry get the job? In terms of, I know a lot of people just said, no, I'm not. Investors are coming in, will not happen. You go and beat Celtic at Celtic Park. It's a team that Rangers have struggled against, but it's been a problem fixture for a number of years, and it's a statement. I mean, obviously there's a big 45 to play, but it's a statement result from Barry himself.
And he beat Fenerbahce in their own ground as well. Barry was asked, I'm just trying to get some insight, given that Rangers are 2 up at half time, culture change. Culture was a problem with that team.
When I walked in, that was the first thing I noticed straight away. Look, I was back at the club, as you all know, as an ambassador. You're obviously looking from the outside in. You don't really see much, but until you actually come in, it was low. Morale was low, and that was one of my jobs and my staff's jobs, was to get this place bouncing a bit again. And I feel slowly but surely we're getting there. Because it's not just about us as a first team squad. This is a building that's got the women's team in it, it's got the academy in it. You've got people that work in the laundry, you've got people that work in the kitchen. I want everybody to be together, and that's something that I think's been missing, and that's something that I'm trying to bring together, and that's something that we made a pack as a staff that we had to try and sort, and we're getting there.
That was Barry Ferguson speaking ahead of the game, and he'll be happy at half time. We're seeing some of the highlights on Sky. Remember, Rangers 2 up, but what a chance Czerny had, Stephen, to make it 2-0 at that point, so it could have been 3.
Yeah, if he backs his right foot, we were saying he hits that right away, then he scores, he makes it 2-0 to Rangers earlier, then they go 2-0 up. But see, it's probably, I mean, you question, why then do you take it on your left to go back on your right anyway? I mean, he's finished, if he went round the goalkeeper and got good connection, was on his right foot, so there was a big opportunity. But there has been lots of big chances at both ends. Celtic will believe that if they can get the next one off the back of Thursday night, that there's something still there for them as well.
Best chances for Celtic, was it the Maeda header that was
Maeda header that gets a Sterling scrambling clearance, which was a great clearance. It looks, Paul,
yeah, of
you've
course
seen something develop.
I do. Adam Ida is coming on. Guys, you called it absolutely right. Barry made the change at Kilmarnock. He hooked Nsiala early on. Adam Ida coming on at half time. We're just checking who's coming on for, and it is Stephen. You did say Adam Ida or Nick, in fact, or
no,
sorry,
I
Coon.
personally maybe would have thought about, because of the lack of options off the bench, I would have gave Coon 15 minutes to get himself going. But he's kept the same formation. Maido came out to the right hand side, and Adam Ida go through the middle.
Good move, do you think?
It can't be worse in terms of Celtic. You struggle to see a team as good as that under a manager as top as Brendan Rodgers comes out and puts on the same poor, slack performance. So yeah, it'll be a big reaction. I'm sure that's what Barry and his coaching team will be speaking about for the next 5-10 minutes. Again, like before half time, can you slow it down? Can you take your time over goal kicks and throw-ins and not let them get into their stride?
Just thinking there, does Maeda, does he say you go on the right, or does he go, and naturally he would normally play on the left?
He's came on to the left. The reason I would have kept it Jota, because in the last 10 minutes of the first half, Jota was cutting in and having a bit of joy, but Jota on the right and Maeda on the left.
But no surprise that Coon is off for me, Paul. I think he wasn't really effective in the first half.
No. Adam Ida, of course, who had success against Rangers in the last game of last season, the cup final, scoring the winner Paulo Bernardo's shot, parried by Jack Butland, and there was the Cork man to score that goal.
Good striker follow-up.
Good instinct, wasn't it? Yeah. So Rangers 2 up. Fascinating time. A good game to watch for any neutrals. Is there such a thing? Is there anyone in the planet on this one? Well, let's see what happens in the second 45. Thank you, James, for watering and feeding us at half time, as well as being executive producer, of course. But everyone looking forward to this second half as Celtic come forward now. Nawrocki plays it out. In fact, really poor ball there, actually, from Nawrocki to Schlupp. It's really poor stuff, Craig, there, isn't it, at the back? They look so uncertain.
Just sloppy. Nawrocki obviously hasn't played a lot. But again, that's the way you start the second half needs to be a positive one. Coughed up possession early door to Rangers, but Celtic have it now. Rangers don't seem to be overly looking to work them too hard when they're building up from the back.
Stephen, it's only a minute so far, but you'd expect Celtic to come out with a bit of zip, but at the moment they look a bit uncertain. But let's see what happens. The ball's played out to the right to Alistair Johnson, so often features prominently in the derbies. He plays it forward, tries to lob it forward for Jota, but it goes out of play.
Well, they've had 4. We've only played 90 seconds in the second half.
Yes.
Carter Vickers really sloppy, Nawrocki really sloppy. that one there from Alistair Johnson, so unlike himself. It just shows you, I mean, once you get out of Craig will tell you might be playing every 3 days, but once you're playing with a little bit of confidence, it doesn't have to affect your decision making. You maybe take that extra touch, that extra half second that costs you.
Ball's played into John Souttar. Well, it was quite tight there. As Tavernier's caught there by Maeda. I don't think it was on purpose. It's a quick turn there, Stephen.
Barry will be absolutely raging with that quick free kick.
Yeah.
Tavernier's still in the ground. Rangers take it quick.
Why would you do it?
No, and it goes straight out the pitch. It's not even as if they saw a promising attack.
Here come Celtic out of defence, which is a danger position for Celtic at the moment. Hard to believe, but that's been the story of the first half. But it comes forward to Nawrocki gingerly forward to Schlupp, but it comes off of Tavernier, who's just back up. Celtic are so uncertain.
They're so uncertain that they're giving Rangers a reason to run, a reason to press.
Yep.
And by the way, if Cherney wanted to press and run a little bit more and be smarter, he could have robbed Celtic in a really good situation there earlier.
Craig, it was a good question from Stephen at half time. When I was thinking about it as well, I'll tell you, Barry Ferguson is giving the new owners, when they come in, something to think about. As Hatate, though, it's a poor ball from Butland. Hatate out to the left to Maeda. He's forced back though by Conor Barron, so he plays it to Schlupp. Schlupp plays it infield comes to Luke McCown. McCown plays it right out to Jota into the box, whips it in for Maeda. Maeda header, goal for Celtic. 48 minutes have been played. Celtic pull one back, Rangers 2, Celtic 1, and it's Dyson Maeda.
And it's that change, it's Jota on the right. It's a brilliant stand up, and Dyson Maeda showed this season he is hang time. He's got there. He's got there before Tavernier and Sterling. There was only one winner. It comes from Butland. Butland has a really terrible kick and Celtic just play it, and what a dream start that is to the second half for Celtic.
Craig Moore.
Yeah, look, Celtic worked it well at the edge of the box. I was thinking a shot was going to come in. It doesn't. Jota stands it up brilliantly, but Maeda's got a lot to do, but good leap, good jump over Tavernier. Header 2-1, Celtic back into it early doors in this second half.
Right on the 48th minute, Stephen, when Celtic looking so uncertain, but suddenly they get the break. As you said, Jack Butland didn't do well.
And that's why Brendan Rodgers is Brendan Rodgers. He said about Jota having joy, but that Maeda versus Tavernier, 2 minutes into the battle, Maeda back in the score sheet. It's a duel, individual duel that Dyson Maeda just totally dominates.
Seconds earlier, we're talking about how uncertain Celtic looked, and they did for the first couple of minutes, but they're back in the score sheet.
No, it's interesting that Stephen picked up on the Maeda Tavernier. Yep. We know how tough that's been and which way it's normally gone. The game at Ibrox, Rangers were too strong. It was Yilmaz that was up against Maeda and silenced him.
Yep.
And I know it's unorthodox potentially, but is that a change?
Celtic coming forward now. It's Celtic 1, Rangers 2. The goal time 48 minutes and 4 seconds. Stephen, I don't know if you said it's the 48th minute. I know they say 49th. Who cares? We see the gap there at the where some of the Green Brigade would have been. Some of them are out of the ground this afternoon as Celtic tried to clear, but it's headed down by Rangers. The ball just knocking about just outside the Celtic box. Dinked forward. Well done. Bit of confidence there from Alistair Johnson to Luke McCown. Big chance for him this afternoon. Threads it through to Adam Ida, the Irish striker. £8 million from Norwich City in the summer, Stephen.
Well, he does splits opinion, right? One of my biggest bugbears with him, because he scores goals, his record's good. Yep. He spends a lot of time outside the box.
Yep, and outside the box he got the ball to Schlupp to Maeda breaks in. Just too much on it though, it's gone out of play.
Well, yeah, I've played with strikers, maybe not even with the attributes that Adam Ida has, and they get the ball and they just give it to the winger and then say, right, you get the ball back to me in the box. Adam Ida always seems to want to take his touch outside the box and find himself in the wing, and I just think it might come as he gets coached and the older he gets, but right now it's a frustration.
How old is he now? I know he's not so bad. He's looking at making changes, but Stephen, I take your point on board and all that, but I have seen him score good goals by being in the right area as well. But he is one of the players.
24.
He wants to link up. And he does at times get found outside the box.
Just 24, did you say, Stephen?
He's good age, still learning.
What's Barry going to do? I was about to ask you, and the cameras were on him there for 20 seconds, and he's going to go 2 and 2 or whatever. I can't quite work it out.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can only imagine in terms of the middle of the park, in terms of the control, how he's going to have his midfielders sitting. You just got to stop the flow now in terms of the momentum that Celtic will and have gathered from the goal pool, because it gives the fans an opportunity to give them a lift. How can you make this a little bit stop-start? That will be in Rangers' advantage.
Brilliant feat from Diamandi.
Great play by Diamandi, who scored Rangers' second goal. Threads it through, but it goes all the way back to Schmeichel. Yeah, Adam Ida, 24 years old, just last month, born in Cork in Ireland. The ball back to Schmeichel.
Diamandi has brilliant feet. Vaclav Černý makes a run and then stops. It's nothing worse as a midfielder. I mean, it's like if you don't play it, they'll shout at you for not. But you play it and then they don't make the run. All of a sudden, you look stupid as a midfielder player.
Stephen, are you missing it in days like this, though? A game like this, you know, you only hung up your boots last May.
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, because football hurts. It was sore for me last year. I don't miss it, so still have the same kind of issues. But yeah, I mean, you'd love to be out there, wouldn't you?
So it's a slack ball there. Who was that? Engels. Really slack from the £12 million man. And it brings Rangers down the left. Yeah, Rid van Yilmaz, but it breaks down. Carter Vickers plays it forward to Arnie Engels. There's no Callum McGregor, injured with a calf injury. He's out. And at the back, Navroki in for the first time this season because there's no scales through injury. And Austin Trusty, his partner in labour. So Celtic coming forward. They've pulled one back in the second half. We've played 52.5 minutes. It's Jota down the wing, but the ball goes out of play. Not sure what he was trying there, Craig, but well, it's going to be. I wonder what Barry is thinking now. So this is where it could be. The 130 minutes just a few nights ago begins to tell.
It can absolutely, because Celtic get a little lift from the goal. You know, the wider areas. Jota now, Maeda already early signs in the second half. The shift of momentum is there, Paul, so they really need to be focused in. Again, the wider areas are so important. Tav needs to double team, and on the other side they need to make sure that they can try and stop the flow of traffic.
He's a very hands-on coach though, isn't he? He's out there speaking to the captain, James Tavernier, because Rangers were at their best when they were putting pressure on Celtic in the first half, because Celtic did not look assured at all right up until the goal just moments ago. Celtic have to defend here. The ball forward to Dessers. We haven't seen much of him, but he'll be doing a lot of running. Stephen McGinn.
No, I actually thought it was a big chance for Dessers. He wasn't watching the ball. It's a good run, but you have to keep your eye on the ball as well. So I think he's in if he recognises it.
Luke McCown puts Maeda in, but Sterling is there and does a decent job. It's going to be a corner kick to Celtic.
He's got away with one there, Sterling. I think he's got away with one.
He's causing mayhem out there,
Maeda and Jota up front. The Ida project is working at the moment. The change for Celtic, they took off Nicholas Kuhn at half time. Navroki is up there. They're putting the height. 6'3" Navroki, 6 foot Cameron Carter Vickers, and Rangers not the tallest, which normally Rangers are noted for being a big strong side, but they're 2-1 up at the moment. 54.5 minutes gone. Arnie Engels whips it in, headed away there by Raskan for Hatate into the side netting and past the post.
Really good technique. I think quarter of the ground thought it was in at the angle. He does so well to keep it down. I think Jack Balland has it covered, but a big header from Nico Raskin.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, he's. I think he's came into his own in the last few months in terms of the aerial. You'd say small, and usually would keep him away, but that would be the worry, wouldn't it, Craig?
Yeah, absolutely.
But Leo Balogun down there, maybe a strain, as I think Rangers are going to make a change.
That is a worry.
Proper. It's getting stripped, Craig, isn't he? Yeah.
No, I mean, to be fair, like I said, I think Proper in terms of he's the natural player that has to come on for a Balogun. There's going to be a lot of defending to be done. You need to be physical and you need to be brave, and Proper has struggled domestically.
He has, hasn't he? European football did better, but last week against Fenerbahce, it was unfortunate to see him go down, but when Balogun came on, Rangers looked so much more secure. So there is Leon Balogun going off, and Craig, he has been immense for Rangers this season in the games when he's played.
Well, again, look, he's a player that unfortunately, age, you get older, that's just part and parcel, but when he does do a job, he comes in, he's professional, he does do his job very, very well, but can he play 3 games a week? Or heavy schedules? Absolutely not. It's the reason why he's come off here. Proper comes on. It gives Rangers, maybe, Paul, a little bit more natural balance.
Okay. Because he is
left.
As Celtic try to come forward down the left, but it's way out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And Maeda takes the...
They've had a couple of bad transfer windows, Rangers. I mean, Balogun is ideal if he's maybe the 4th choice centre-half. Be good about the place, know what's required, come in the odd game. He has to play a lot more than what he and the club would probably want him to.
As just taking a few moments to start the game again. It's going to be a throw-in as Sterling forward for the striker, Desers, but he loses out there. McCowan plays it down. We're watching it on Sky. It's the Go Radio Football Show with Paul Cooney, Stephen McGinn and Craig Moore. Rangers 2-1 up. We're with Burger King. Stephen?
I mean, Celtic were always going to get better. The one big change in the game for me, though, is Rangers aren't given any sort of attacking intent. There's nothing. They're not keeping a hold of the ball. They're letting Celtic build up that head of steam and continue to go at them.
The Rangers definitely need a spell, so you're spot on, Stephen. This has been dominated in terms of the territory, yeah? Celtic are playing, having much time to build up. They're playing in Rangers half a lot. You continue to do that, you're asking for trouble if you're Rangers.
Of course, especially where Celtic's real threat is up front.
Absolutely.
Is at the back. We know the story. There's no Scales, there's no Trusty. And Navarocki playing for the first time.
This is how every Celtic game looks like. Mm-hmm. This is what. So when the game flips in the first half and they're facing something that's out with their comfort zone. So that's where the confidence grows. That's where the quality comes back in. So Rangers have to, like there, you turn over. Can you go and win a free kick? Mm-hmm. Can you find a pass? Can you get a foothold back in the game?
As Celtic knock the ball about at the back, it's with Cameron Carter-Vickers, who captains today in the absence of Callum McGregor, who doesn't miss many Old Firm games. But he's got a calf injury. He did speak to the media on Friday. He didn't train, but he didn't play today either. He's not in the squad at all. As Cameron Carter-Vickers, another poor ball. He's uncharacteristically making a number of mistakes.
No, he's not been as. I mean, he's the best defender in the league. Yeah. But he's been one of the ones that you can come on class on slack today.
As he plays it to Navarocki is real. The pace has slowed down, Craig, big time, and in some ways Rangers would welcome that, but every single Rangers player is in their own half. It's Celtic up in the halfway line with Carter-Vickers just taking their time, playing it out to the right to Jota infield to Hatate looks up. What are the options for him? Plays it out to Jeffrey Schlupp's forced to play back to Navarocki is going to go across there in that diamond shape out to, is that the shape of a diamond? Yep, out to Stephen McGinn would know.
How crazy is football though, Paul? First half, Rangers were the ones that were showing good bite, good energy, playing off the back of Celtic mistakes. And then the goal, since Celtic got that in the second half, it's completely different game. Celtic now dominating the ball. Rangers unable to keep it. Even when they get a tackle, they're unable to keep the ball. And it's pressure that they need to find a stop to this pressure that is building up for Celtic.
Momentum's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because even the first 2 minutes of the second half, Celtic looked to lack of assurance, and Rangers were on it. But as soon as the goal went in, it seems to change. So, more goals to come, maybe. Rio Hatate, 25, 30 yards out, looks up, turns, checks, plays to Schlupp. Is he going to let one fly? No, he plays it out to the left to Maeda just inside the box, into Arnie Engels, but he's too long on the ball. He's got Raskin around him, he's got Cherny. You're not going to win that one.
That was poor from Engels,
wasn't it?
No awareness.
Too slow.
That's the one when Callum McGregor backs up the game and he just finds him back out to Schlupp, or he goes out the other side to Alistair Johnson. Yeah, he's really poor.
And Stephen, that's a dangerous position for a Celtic attack.
Yeah. Not even that, it's just poor from a midfield player. See not having the awareness that someone might be behind you. As a midfield player, in any situation, you've got to be aware there's a midfield player round about, or someone's going to have a bite at you if you want to take your time.
Brendan Rodgers not happy with that one. He puts his hand to his head as Rangers come forward, play the ball into the box. A couple of players go down, including a Rangers player. Don't think there's much in it, but Cyril Desers,
he goes down. Navarocki goes across him. He blocks his line of running, Paul. But look, this is just normal defending for me. Of course, just blocking the line, staying straight. I know he's not going to change. He's an older striker, but it's a part of the game. You don't want to see that, do you, from your striker? You want him to say, "No, give me a bump, I'll give you a bump back."
Well, look at you and John Hartson.
Oh yeah, we caught each other many a time, but we kind of just got on with it.
Like, I know you watching the game the other night, I know how frustrated everyone was getting with the Fenerbahce antics. I know there's ways you do anything to win a game of football, but we don't want to see that sort of stuff.
Luke McCowan, caught out there. That was really slack by the former Dundee player.
Redvan presses really well.
Doesn't he?
He's more intelligent with his pressing, Jeff Diaz.
Yeah. So, but it's for Celtic to Cameron Carter-Vickers to Navarocki to CCV. He looks up, plays it out to the right to Alistair Johnson, back to to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Celtic happy to have a slow build up just now, Stephen? It seems to be, but that's a dangerous ball. Carter Vickers caught out, chance for Rangers. Rangers through, but Carter Vickers recovers, although he hasn't cleared it yet. He's slack. Wow.
There's not enough Celtic players taking responsibility on the ball.
That was a real chance there, but it's now cleared forward to Adam Ida. But it's Rangers now, back in possession, out to the right to Czerny. Is something on for Rangers? Slips it in, looking for Dessers, edge of the box. McCown's round him. There's 3 Celtic players round him. Tries to weave it out to Ridvan Yilmaz, but it's Celtic who win possession. Greg, that's really slack play by CCV.
CCV gets it, and then it's a real opportunity for Rangers. In the end, Celtic managed to clear the lines. They've gone up to attack again here.
62 minutes. Knocked
heavy
in.
cross.
Yeah, heavy cross from Jota. More in hope and expectation than in a reality.
It's a big chance that if he keeps that down, Dyson Maida's got the other side of Tavernier. It's a tap in for Dyson Maida if he can get that right. I don't think it needs to be can be a side foot. I think actually Propper's maybe closed the angle.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough we're seeing the replay. Once again, his pace and the position he gets ahead of, was it Tavernier, Stephen?
Yeah.
Where he could get that tap in. I still think defensively you've got to be smarter.
Yeah.
Guys, are you enjoying the game, Stephen?
I was just seen Barry talking to Hadji there.
Hadji, yeah.
Actually, in the last action for Rangers, I know it was all about Celtics. Kind of Czerny looks particularly tired.
Yeah.
He looks.
As Rangers come forward again, another slip up by the Celtic. The Celtic defence is woeful in many ways this afternoon. That was a chance there.
He almost because he got that extra 15 minutes when Barry was going to take him off the other night. He went the extra. He looks especially tired here when he picked that ball up.
Craig.
Yeah, again, there's definitely going to be substitutions for Barry. His players, there'll be quite a few of them that will be feeling the legs, the lactic acid building up now. I think a player like Igamani, off the cuff, Celtic got another chance. Maeda 1v1 against Sterling.
Maeda down the left, gets through two players. Chance now for Celtic. It's Luke McCown at his moment. He shoots, but just past the post. Craig, that was a real chance for Celtic.
It's a real chance. Maeda gets isolated, ends up 2v1. Gets a little bit of luck just at the edge of the box. Poor clearance. He picks out McCowan, takes a touch, tries to get out his feet, just wide.
Stephen McGinn.
I actually think Propper does well again. I think he reads it well, and he makes McCowan not be able to kind of pick his side. He's forced a shot and he just dragged it. But Maida, I mean, he is so dangerous. When Celtic can get through that first press for Rangers, Jota and Maida are really isolated 1v1.
But lucky there, Paul, because how many times, and Stephen, you would have done it because I've certainly done it. Propper does, he stretched to try block shot. It goes through legs. And fortunately goes wide of the post.
Has Raskin got a wrist injury there? I don't know if he's signalling to the bench, or is it just to run down the clock? We'll find out. He's back up. You're not going to go off with a wrist injury, are you? He's not a keeper. He was the best player in the first half. As Yanis Hadji gets ready to come on, he missed his penalty, saved the other night, of course. But as Barry Ferguson said, yep, he's in tears. But look, Rangers are through to the Europa League quarter-final against Atletico Bilbao.
Do you think that's Jack Butland keep from goal kicks? He started just kicking them straight out, and he's not missing it by a couple of yards. He's missing it by 5. Do you think that's potentially any sort of plan? Could that be a plan?
I hope not, because
and hear me out. I played with Nigel Clough when we were at Sheffield United, and we were winning games. He would want his goalkeeper to really sometimes just. Let's play for territory. Yeah,
maybe. Diomande eventually goes off. Hatate wasn't happy, and Yanis Hadji comes on. Can he be a factor in this game?
Intelligent player. He needs to bring that quality to make a difference in the final third. But he also needs to work extremely hard because there's some tired players out there now.
I think that's a big loss. I'm a wee bit surprised with that change. I thought it was going to be like for like with Czerny. I think Diamande's been excellent in the game.
But maybe again it's the energy. We don't know.
He was one of the ones that didn't play as many minutes.
That's true.
And you think one of his big strengths is his athleticism.
But he looked cooked on Thursday. I know he didn't play as long. I know he didn't play long. But he looked absolutely shattered when he come off on Thursday night. Monday.
He's in the record books this afternoon. He scored the second goal in the derby, scoring with a good goal after 37 minutes. It was Raskin who scored the first. He was the assist in the second, and then Dyson Maida pulls one back. So 3 goals. 2-1 Rangers. For 66 minutes gone as Rangers come up, Celtic, up over the halfway line. Dink there by Hatate through for Jota. Jota can't win the tackle, and Raskin does well and thumps the ball, tries to play it down the left. That was a chance.
I'm going to be ultra critical here, Stephen, right?
Go on.
That is a chance in terms of Celtic putting a ball through, and all of a sudden Rangers are all over the shop defensively. But again, the goalkeeper for me
yes, absolutely.
is miles off it.
Absolutely.
Miles off it.
Butland.
He's got to be 15 yards higher, Paul.
And why isn't he? Who knows?
I don't know.
Okay.
But Rangers, Raskin is nobody near him. He just kicks it right through all the way to Schmeichel. I think they've got to have more composure in their showing.
Also, I'm seeing on the Sun here, they're saying the Union Bears, some of them were barred from the game this afternoon, held outside the stadium for over 2 hours. So, Police Scotland busy this afternoon. In the derby, the Old Firm derby, the Glasgow derby, as Celtic come up over the halfway line, trying to get back into it. They would love to make it 19 points in it. I think they would love to keep it at 16, even if they can get a draw. The one behind us, Jota comes forward. Gets a break of the ball there. Was that an infringement? He thinks it was. Referee Stephen McLean saying no. So
it's a nudge, it's a brush. I don't think it's a foul. What I would be more frustrated about if I was Jota is Adamida's got to play that.
Yeah.
It's going out for a goal kick anyway. Just, you don't know you're offside because you've got your back to play.
Love the insight. You get the insight here on the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King, Stephen McGinn, the Falkirk Invincible, and the Invincible Craig Moore. Treble winner with Rangers alongside Barry Ferguson, the head coach, the manager, the interim, whatever, at Ibrox, and giving the owners something to think about, because you're seeing a Barry Ferguson type performance certainly in the first half. And what's he going to do now in the next 25 minutes or so as Rangers come down the left? Rid van Yilmaz tackled there by Engels, who says to the crowd, come on.
I've not seen that normally in Engels' kind of character.
That's true.
A little bit of a surprise there.
Yeah. The ball's played to Nico Raskin to John Suter out to Robin Proper, who came on for Leon Balogun. But poor ball by him. It's forward to Maeda, but it was a good tackle there from Suter. That could have been a problem for Rangers, and Celtic are looking to pounce on them now as the game and the legs get heavy. Stephen,
do you know what? Like, Robin Proper transfer hasn't worked, and it's not. You can sign centre halves, and he's not been able to deal with the physicality of this country. But for where he's been, for his CV, the level he's played at in Holland, I can't believe how uncomfortable he is for that type of the small passes. And
you think he would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah. You can fall short with the physicality, but just really untidy with the ball.
Happens too quick. It's almost like it happens too quickly for him here.
Potentially.
Yang's on for Jota. Will Celtic fans be happy about that? They absolutely love. I know Yang has been on it last week, not so much maybe, but
I'm happy with that.
Exactly.
As a Rangers, because Yang for me is not the same threat of what Jota was even still showing while he was on the pitch. But don't get me wrong, he could make me look silly. Hopefully not. Rangers now breaking in Cherney. There's an opportunity in the ball. Oh, not the wrong ball, the right pass. But
Cherney was looking for Dezers.
Not executed.
Yeah, but it goes to CCV, who plays it out to Maeda, but it's a heavy touch and it's a poor clearance. So it's Raskin forward to Cherney. Cherney looks as though he's still got a bit of energy there, and he plays it to Nico Raskin.
I was actually thinking the opposite, because I'm thinking Cherney, because he likes getting the ball and running with it. I'm thinking he's played that early, because usually he would face him up and get at his man.
You will know much more than I do, Stephen, so I would go with you.
And see, the thing is, Paul, as a player, don't get me wrong, I certainly wasn't a ball player, but when you have the ball, your Cherneys and all that sort of stuff, that's when he'll feel fresh. Give me the ball. That's when he has to do running without it.
Rangers have won a throw-in midway inside the Celtic half. 70 minutes. There's Barry Ferguson just saying, right, come on guys, what's that, 20 minutes to go plus stoppage? So we're now deep into the game. That's the period we talked about. Everyone was saying last night, I heard that in Sports Scene, where they're going on about stuff. Rangers, the 120 minutes played the other day could be significant. Rangers 2-1 up, 20 minutes to go. Celtic, can they come back? Can they equalise at home? Can they get a winner? Which, of course, would change the mood big time of the Celtic supporters, who can't be happy with the performance.
The scoreline, the time, the clock helps. I always think once you get you're winning by one, see, once that the clock hits 70, you feel that you're getting there. You feel that you're nearly there. Maybe you look up, it's at 2-1, it's 54, whatever. You're looking up saying, I've got loads to go, 70, 75. You really start to feel it's there for you.
That's right, 60 odd minutes. You think, crikey, a long way to go. Tavernier almost loses out there, but he doesn't. It's going to be a throw in. Schlupp was on it. So who can be the key men for Celtic to try to unlock and get a second goal? It was Dyson Maeda header in 48 minutes. Rangers got the first half goals. Nico Raskin and Diomande, who went off a few moments ago. Throw in though to Rangers, and they will be happy. The clock goes to 71 and a half minutes as a long ball from Tavernier into the Celtic box, headed down, falls for was it Raskin? Was it Redvan? And it's picked up by Schmeichel. Quick ball, throws it out to Alistair Johnson, to Arnie Engels. Engels, how's he done for you, given there's no Callum McGregor or Hatate? Let's see what happens here. Hatate, good ball to the fellow Japanese international. Forward to Luke McCowan, edge of the box. McCowan tries to play it in, but it cannons off. John Souttar, the former Hearts, the Scotland defender, of course, who's in the squad for the games with Greece next week. Attention turns to that after the games today, International Week coming up. So, you know, they talk about dead rubbers and all that. There's no such thing. I heard you both saying it before the game. You tell that to the Rangers fans here this afternoon, or the Celtic fans who are looking for nothing less than at least a draw. I think you said beforehand a draw. Craig, you did?
Again, I think a draw would be a good result. A win would be a great result. But I think Rangers need to, Paul, get back to what they've done well in the first half, and that was playing percentages. It was playing areas. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yep.
Because mistakes will be costly at this stage of the game.
Celtic tried to knock it about in the midfield there, but to no great effect. But here comes Dyson Maeda, a threat. He's on the ball, beats one, beats two, and then is he clattered there? Just a collision. They both go for the ball.
He's been Celtic's best player by a million miles. He's been really bang at it. He's actually the rest of the performance has disappointed the level he's been playing at. It was really good for Maeda.
Yeah.
You asked about Ernie Engels.
Yeah,
I think he's been off it.
Yeah. Agreed. Robin Proper gets the card there. It's kind of as the defenders.
Well, again, he's got to make a challenge, and if you're going to make a challenge, then that's probably the place to make it.
Yep. Maeda is up, and he's not exactly hobbling there, but there's a bit of a looks as though he was clattered a little bit there. As Celtic come forward now, it's a great ball through. Chance, it's goal for Celtic. Hatate. Great ball through from Luke McCowan. Reo Hatate. 74 minutes gone. They were 2 down. It's Maeda and it's Hatate. 2-2.
It's an unbelievable goal from Celtic. Craig will dissect it from a Rangers point of view, but this is a goal that Celtic score against Rangers. The quick moving, the off the ball running, they really struggle to deal with it. It's that pattern, that triangle with the rotation. Third man run for Hatate. Jack Butland, for me, I think he's very easily beaten, but take nothing away from Reo Hatate. It's a brilliant finish.
Craig Moore.
For me, there's just too much space. Good forward run, obviously, for Hatate, but again, the space that he's allowed to run in there is poor. Is that Proper that's caught out of position? Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic forward run and finish by Hatate, but for Rangers defensively, far too much space in a key area that's that close to your goal.
Brendan Rodgers does a Barry Ferguson. He jumps there on the assistant, as Barry did, in recent weeks with Neil McCann and Billy Dodds. You can see what that means to him, because his team have not played that well today, but they're back to 2-2.
But it's the rotation. Celtic, when they've played really well at Rangers, it's the switch. They run out to the wide, the winger comes in, and they've really just caught Rangers off guard by Hatate ghosting in. Brilliant pass from McCowan, because he had a couple of options. He could have forced the one to Johnson. He's found the Hatate down the side, and it's a brilliant, really intelligent finish.
See, the thing is as well, whether you're a midfielder, defensively minded, or a defender, can you sense danger? Right?
Yep.
And if you can't, clearly there was players there that can't. That's a problem. Sense danger. The most important player that's going to have the biggest impact in the moment was Hatate all day there. They've got to do much better, be a lot closer. Don't allow it to happen. Reo
Hatate there slides it home past Jack Butland. Luke McCowan passed it to him. It was good. Passed by him. 74 minutes gone. So 15 minutes. It's 2-2 in the derby as Czerny bursts forward for Rangers, trying to get into the box. Hatate helps to break it down. There's McCowan. McCowan's enjoying it now, but he loses possession there, and Rangers come forward in the shape of James Tavernier. Tavernier clipped there. It's going to be a that a yellow card?
Do you know what Rangers have just done in the last minute since they scored? Played like they played in the first half.
Yeah.
They got their head up. They played
Get
the simple
forward.
pass. They've grew into Celtic's half and they've won a foul. What they've just done for the last 30 minutes is encourage Celtic onto them, who are bang out of form, not enjoying the game, really uncomfortable, and they let them get into it. And for the first, it goes to 2-2. It's talk about frustrations of football psychology. It's amazing that just that second goal and all of a sudden Rangers switch back onto playing.
Is there another goal coming, Stephen?
Yeah, I think there's a winner
Who
here for
for?
someone. I don't know if Rangers stay as brave. It's a very open game.
The ball into the box, headed in by Ridvan Yilmaz, but it's headed away. Craig, another goal? If so, who for?
Well,
it's one of them. Rangers or Celtic?
I think there is a winner. I agree. I think there is a winner in this. I still think that Rangers potentially have their hand to play with Igamane.
Yep, of course, who could come on and do some damage. A yellow card there, I think, was it Hadji? Yeah, got in the way of stopped the free kick to happen quickly. Oh, Engels almost gets caught there in the ball. Yeah, Yanis Hadji there, confirmation of that in Sky. Forward to Yang, we haven't seen him yet. Yang, his chance down the right. Good ball in. Ida falls to McCowan, but it's cannons away. Jeffrey Schlupp. Oh, great save there by Jack Butland.
Yeah,
what a
good
chance.
save. It's a good hit from Schlupp. Adam Ida's just taking it off the toes of Luke McCowan, who's walking on to make it 3-2. Very good from Yang, good pick out. John Suter very tired, but McCowan's got to be screaming at Ida to leave that.
What a save there.
Okay, you're talking about the attacking sense.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Rangers again.
Yeah,
Raskin, Hatati running off Raskin. Raskin couldn't match it. Dangerous situation. Corner for Celtic.
77.5 minutes gone. It's Arnie Engels as referee Stephen McLean.
It's a flip, isn't it, from the game at the end of last season? Celtic been 2-0 up at Ibrox, and just the game of two halves.
Is that the moral victory? The 3-3? Is that one? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Philippe Clement saying so. Navrocki there with a proper yellow card around. You need to be careful. Pushing, shoving, both sides. But the camera is...
And he's on a yellow, Paul.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's yellow already. As the ball into the box, punched away by Jack Butland, falls to Yang. Yang back into the box. CCV is up there. As John Suter went down. You're right, we saw a close-up. John Suter has given so much in recent weeks. He was just back from injury, but look at it, goes to the other end. Here's Czerny, he's got Dessers throwing goals. It's Dessers, chance for him. He's got to get round McCowan did ever so well. Dessers was too slow there, Craig, but let's see what happens. Oh, lovely ball. Czerny in for, is that Barron?
Barron needed to be another player.
You want Barron to be playing that ball to Czerny.
Yes.
I don't know what Craig thinks. Luke McCowan almost offers. He looks tired. He's not played a lot of 90 minutes. He's almost offered Dessers on his right foot to have a free shot at Kasper Schmeichel. I think it's so obsessed with coming inside that it makes it easier for Luke McCowan.
So the space was on the outside. First, it was a 3v3 situation. Czerny picks the right pass. Good ball, good weight for Dessers. He's on the outside. He probably doesn't want to make his angle worse. But there was a time where he could have just got it. Touch, shoot. Celtic get away with one there because Barron also then on the back of that gets in, but probably falls to the wrong guy in the wrong area.
It could have been boom. There is another goal, we feel. Craig Moore thinks so. So does Stephen McGinn, and that could have been Rangers there. As Rangers coming back into it now, up over the halfway line. Good ball out to the left to Ridvan Yilmaz. A great tackle though on him as Celtic come forward, trying to play it forward to Adam Ida. Stephen.
It was brilliant defensive work from Yang. Because Hadji's did well. He's opened up the play. Ridvan's advanced, but really good from fresh legs from Yang.
As Luke McCowan plays it to Schlupp down the left to Dyson Maida. 28 goals he has now this season, isn't he? Comes forward, beats one. Can he beat the second? Tries to get past Raskin. Referee allows the play to go on. It's with Luke McCowan. McCowan plays it back, but wins a throw-in 25 yards out from goal.
There's some really heavy legs out there. Celtic have got a few. Navrocki's very first start of the season. McCowan not played a lot of minutes. Engels isn't usually that holding position. And Rangers obviously with the extra time and penalties last night. Both sides looking really tired.
Tom Lawrence is going to come on for Rangers and he's going to make three.
Looks like Iggyman and Enciala as well.
Yeah, see Iggyman there. And Enciala, of course, who was played for 25 minutes in Barry's first game at Kilmarnock, but then came off. But it looks as though he's coming back on this afternoon with 10 minutes remaining.
Can be a sore one. There's no intent from Maida. Raskin's just got his foot stuck in the grass and he's landed. His straight leg could be calf. Knee's always a worry when you get that knee test.
Craig, 2-2 would be, I know your old team were 2 up. This would be a brilliant result, though, would it not, for Barry Ferguson?
Yes. But as we've seen, Paul, and I'm sure anybody that's watching the game, you see how quickly games of football can change.
Yep.
First half to second half.
Sure. And just that goal. Celtic started as they were in the first half, a bit nervous, and Rangers looked assured. Then Maeda scored, and the game changed. But it's another 9 minutes left plus stoppage. We see the Rangers subs coming on.
Enciala's first sighting for that time where he got taken off after 30 minutes.
Yep.
Does he go left back? Is there a change of shape coming up here, Craig?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he probably want to keep it as is, but saying that, does he want to be aggressive and actually really try and put some energy in the right areas? But I think it'll be the same.
So Czerny, Sterling and Barron going off, Igaman, Enciala and Lawrence. Triple change. So we're going to be reading about this in the morning, saying, great triple substitute by the Jose Mourinho of Govan. Pep Guardiola.
No surprise to see we speak about players that have not played a lot of minutes. Barron, back to back after not playing in months and months. Sterling, been out injured, not played a lot of football. Czerny, I thought Czerny was spent 20 minutes ago. So, Barry, he's maybe been forced into that types of change because he's got the game here, but triple sub for Rangers. Let's see how it plays out.
Or is it going to be Brendan Rodgers, Celtic, playing the role of Brendan Rodgers, of course, who's won so many titles with Celtic and also won the FA Cup with Leicester City. Wow, 7.5 minutes remaining plus stoppage, and there's probably be 5 or 6 minutes. Engels plays it out to Alistair Johnson. The Celtic fans will be almost demanding a third goal as Yang up over the halfway line. Good play. Two-footed, plays it out to the left to Schlupp into Maeda, but therefore Alistair Johnson.
He's caught in his heels, Alistair Johnson. We spoke about the other end, Conor Barron falling to the wrong person. Alistair Johnson there, you're thinking about a Yang or McCowan onto it. Alistair Johnson just caught with the touch from Enciala.
That's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's a slight touch for Enciala that does change the course and then catches Alistair Johnson a little bit off guard.
Here's John Souttar trying to clear his lines. Plays it to Robin Proper. Plays it back to Souttar. Souttar charges forward. He got the foul. He did, didn't he? Yeah, he played it too far ahead. So
there's certain, when you're watching Dyson Maeda play football, there's certain things you think, he's across him, he'll not get back in. Dyson Maeda seems to almost make you right, because it seemed a really good intelligent step from Souttar, but Maeda, you're always just worried about him.
What's the story with Maeda? He's a
machine. Yeah. He's a machine, physical machine, able to repeat effort after effort. Souttar does well there, though. He drives, he does get across, and he gets a foul, which is a little bit of breathing time for Rangers.
As Maeda, deft touch. I think he's won a foul. In fact, he's gone down.
Yeah, I think he's caught him quite hard. Souttar's one of those kind of big disappointment, just from a Scottish football point of view, in terms of just the injuries, because he's such a modern defender. He's big and good size, reads the game well, very clever footballer, but he's just, still got to a very good level, Scotland International Rangers, but you just wonder what would football have looked for him if he hadn't had the injury troubles he's had.
We'll be asking in a few minutes for Moore or McGinn's man of the match. Do you like the Moore, McGinn?
Not bad.
Man of the match.
I like that. I'm liking it a lot.
That was the Buddy Holly. A few people have been on saying they like that one, so throw another one at us, see if we can come up with some hits. So, I don't know who you would be. George Michael kind of music? No, are you more in excess? Thinking of the
excess, I didn't mind in excess. I'm mixed bag, Paul. Like all sorts of music, I think.
And with Tina Turner, you're happy. Stephen McGinn just watching as Celtic come forward. There's 5 minutes remaining plus stoppage. Long ball. He tries to put the burners on there.
Do you know? I'm wondering if I'm a Rangers midfielder or am I centre half. Am I letting Ridvan with 5 minutes plus injury? Am I still letting him press the way he's pressing? Because the gap that Celtic score from, is it worth maybe you just take your medicine, get your point, don't go chasing? So I feel there was a massive space there again, like the goal for Celtic to get in.
It's a great point because a draw here this afternoon for Rangers, for Barry Ferguson, the team now with the international break. This is massive, and they've got to start thinking about Atletico Bilbao. But at the moment, it's Celtic they're thinking about. As McCowan, that was a tired pass.
You imagine the noise in there.
Yeah.
Barry's at the other side of the pitch. That's where sometimes you rely on your older players, your experienced players. It's, look, don't go for everyone. We're two each at our hardest possible domestic fixture.
Ian Crocker there, we can hear just the way in the background. Excellent coverage on Sky. The ball forward. Have Celtic lost a little bit of the intensity? I don't know, in the last few moments. There's
they look tired too. They look as if there's two teams that come to the end of the season. The league's obviously not competitive. It just looks really two heavyweights.
People will find that, who don't play the game, will find that strange, though. They've had the week off. But sometimes playing, a couple of times a week just keeps you going. It's better than training.
The football, and I know this because my wife says every 3 days, why I've Aston Villa on the TV again. There's no let up.
It's relentless.
Yeah.
Here's Celtic trying to give no let up. 2-2 in the derby. It's Yang cuts infield. What's the option for him? It's Rio Hatate to Schlupp on the left to Maida just inside the Rangers box, plays it to Rio Hatate, goes to let fly, he does, just past the post. Craig Moore, that was tight, close.
Yeah, no, it was a good strike, it was a good effort, but at the same time, if I'm Rangers, I'm happy where that happens, because that's a better outcome than making the wrong decision, getting picked off. And Celtic, they're very patient at the edge of the box.
Do you know what? I'm probably the opposite there.
Yeah,
I'm angry at Tom Lawrence saying if Hatate's going to have a shot there, let him shoot for his left.
Yeah.
He's let him go to the side he wants to shoot at, and Rio Hatate showed he's got the intelligence to go either side.
Liverpool coming up against Newcastle this afternoon in the League Cup final. Who's going to win the Old Firm Derby 2025? As a Celtic player goes down, it's a chance for Rangers. It could be Rangers, and it's Eagleman into the box. Shot from Eagleman, it's a goal. Rangers have scored. 88 minutes. The sub, Eagleman. Rangers ahead.
It's again, I touched on Eagleman in terms of the uniqueness of this player. He gets a little bit of luck in terms of the little bit of a bobble, but he is the type of player that can produce this and pull it out of the locker. He puts the ball in the top corner. It's 87 minutes. What a finish. What a time of the game.
It's a horror show from Celtic. Cameron Carter-Vickers, for some reason, it looks as if he timed it perfectly. He's let the ball bounce, which is a problem in itself. And then from there, Alistair Johnson slips. And then it's about danger situation. Don't let a man onto his right foot. Navroki looks tired, steps off the game, allows him from the middle of the box to get his shot away, and he doesn't miss from there.
What a strike from Eagleman. But how did it get there, Craig? It just shows you.
Yeah, he got a little bit of luck. But this is where he gets his luck here. When he comes back onto his right foot, he gets a little bit of luck. But I tell you what, he doesn't think twice. It sits up beautifully. Half volley cuts across the ball. It flies in the top corner. 2
international players caught out. Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alistair Johnson.
And they're 2 of Celtic's biggest players. They've been outstanding all season, but they've been poor this afternoon. And they've been punished there for 2 very basic mistakes.
The former Rangers captain, the interim coach, kisses the ball as well he might.
Yeah, because you could see he was actually trying to control his emotions there, Paul. He was really, you could see he was pumped, he was excited, and then all of a sudden he goes, right, I've got to reel this in.
Not sure what's
going on. Still time to go.
Yeah, some of the stewards are over there just behind the Rangers bench. It's nothing.
I think they're upset with the celebrations off the Rangers bench.
Okay. It is so close to it there, isn't it? So close to the front stand. So 1 minute remaining plus stoppage. What will there be? 6 minutes. Celtic fans will be hoping for a little bit more than that, but in 6 minutes there could be another goal in this game. It's Eagleman though at the moment who's taken the spoils for Rangers. 2 down, back to 2-2, 3-2 up. 89.5 minutes gone. Carter-Vickers, who was involved along with AJ's, the 2 of them in that slip up a few moments ago. So can Rangers hold on to what will be a famous victory against the champions defending and champions elect? It brings it to 13 points, but probably more importantly in this trial from Barry Ferguson, who would have been with us this afternoon. Craig, it's great to see you though, and he seems to be in his rightful position there as the Rangers manager. Here's Celtic, but they lose out again. Is the break on for Rangers? But no, not this time. But there's AJ caught out, Alistair Johnson. Rangers got the spring back in the step despite 130 minutes football just 3 nights ago. Yep. As 5 minutes, Stephen McGinn signals for me. Stephen, is there another goal? What do you think?
I can't see it. I think Rangers can play it smart. They can see the game out here. Not like that.
Poor ball from Rangers. So Luke McCown in the midfield knocks it out to the left to Schlupp to Hatate. Hatate, what can he fashion for Celtic? It's coming up to Engels out to the right to Yang. This is his chance maybe to write his name in the history book. A draw would be a terrific result for Celtic with 4.5 minutes remaining of the 5 stoppage. 3-2 Rangers after the 90. Here comes Hatate. Hatate looks up. What are the options for him? He's the man who brought Celtic back into it in the 74th minute. He brought it to 2-2. Maeda scored just after half-time. Hatate, but Rangers closing them down, just pressing all the way to Nawrocki to CCV. Celtic have missed Trusty. They've missed Scales, and they've missed their captain as the ball's into the box, but it's cleared by Enciala, who came on, and it's CCV losing out to Dessers. Dessers does well, holds up the ball in the midfield. Craig, that was good work.
That's good striker play. Absolutely, Paul.
Raskin out to the left as Rangers now just happy to take 3.5 minutes remaining of the 5. Craig, it looks as though Rangers are going to do it.
Well, again, we touched on Igamani's just this type of player that has the type of finishes, but there's a couple of minutes left. They've got to be nice and smart. There still could be a goal, a late surprise in this, but Rangers have done well to respond after what has been a complete turnaround in the second half for Celtic.
Quite a performance by Rangers, and Enciala, who is on triple substitution just 5 minutes before the goal. Will that go down as a stroke of genius? But there's still 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go. The ball's played all the way back to Jack Butland. Butland plays it out, but it's a poor one. But Rangers do get the break of the ball. Celtic can't capitalise. Here's Rangers down the right. Long ball for Igaman. Fresh legs on. And he scored. Nawrocki plays it all the way back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel out to the right. So Alistair Johnson's got acres of space. There's nobody near him. He's got 10, 20, 30, 40 yards up over the halfway line. But it's slow, Stephen. Am I missing something here with Celtic?
No, they do. I mean, both sides look really tired, but Celtic really struggling to make much ground. That probably sums up the afternoon's been for Celtic.
Which is a nameless pass by Luke McCown, out of play, and it's now, Craig, 2 minutes 20 seconds of the 5, and we see there on Sky the Rangers fans loving it this afternoon, their visit to the Parkhead area of the city of Glasgow.
Yeah, it could be a massive result for Rangers and Barry Ferguson in his first taste as a manager. But Paul, there's still a couple of minutes left. Anything can happen. Rangers trying to play the ball and keep in Celtic's half, but Celtic trying. Rangers start at the moment, throwing for Rangers.
Nawrocki plays the ball out of play. We see the close-up of Barry Ferguson. Neil McCann there, and he's saying just everything. Concentrate. Less than 2 minutes, 1:45 to go. Cameras there on Brendan Rodgers. He's seen it all. His record against Rangers was one of maybe the best, but it's under pressure this afternoon. At the moment, it's going to be another defeat. But the ball knocked forward. Hatate to McCown, but it's a poor ball there. Was that Yang? And they lose possession. This will suit Rangers with 1:20 of stoppage to go. The ball played down the left. Yanis Hadji. He's there with McCown's worked hard, hasn't he, to be fair, Stephen?
Yeah. He's taken his opportunity with Bernardo McGregor missing. Doesn't usually get the 95 minutes. So, yeah, but he'll be obviously disappointed. But
look at Celtic. I mean, a minute to go, and Schlupp is forced 20 yards back, plays it back to Nawrocki. It's to Carter Vickers, out to the right to Yang. Is anything on? They took Jota off, they brought Yang on. Has that worked? Maybe Jota was tiring. Here comes Celtic. It's Engels. Engels tries to play it through for Maeda. Maeda moves into the box. It's Hatate down hugging the touchline here. Plays it into Engels. Engels 25 yards out. Maeda. Rangers have everyone back. Here's Hatate. Ball into the box looking for it. Is it? Oh, great chance, but over the top. Now, Ida went down. Alistair Johnson plays it over the top. Is it going to be a VAR? We'd have to see it again. Stephen McGinn?
I think Ridvan and Enciala have absolutely got away with one there. I don't think as if it's just a bump. And Ridvan doesn't know Alistair Johnson's behind him, and he's got to score.
Craig Moore?
Again, it's a real chance. Alistair Johnson at the far post he's got to do better. He's trying to take it with the outside of his right foot. Tough one. I think that would be the last chance of the match, absolutely. But it was a real chance for Celtic.
There was 16 points between the two when they stepped out this afternoon. Whistle's gone. Barry Ferguson raises his hands to the heavens. He's smiling. Let's just see here as he goes over to Brendan Rodgers, the two managers. Yep, warm embrace there. Quick one. But, wow, Rangers come to Celtic and win 3-2. Craig Moore.
It's an enormous result for Barry Ferguson and this Rangers team that for large parts of this season have looked down and out. Very good in the first half. Got off to an absolute flyer. Celtic did reel the game back to a level, but then Igamani comes on, Paul, late in the match, scores a really special goal off a little bit of luck. 3-2 Rangers. Barry Ferguson gets his first win.
How do you feel? How do you feel for your old teammate, your colleague?
Look, I'm delighted for him. Again, it's about confidence building. We know the influence in terms of it's not going to impact the season in terms of the title, but for this group of players that have suffered a lot, what they've done in the last 5 days between Europe and now going away from home against your oldest rival to get a result, it's fantastic.
Do you take the term interim out of the way now and make him manager?
He's going to be a conversation that's going to cause nice headaches for people within Rangers, that's for sure, after what he's done recently.
Stephen McGinn, a performance full of character from Rangers this afternoon, winning at the champions-elect Celtic.
Yeah, they've showed they are capable of big performances in games where they're not expected to win. They gave themselves, right from the very kick-off, they gave themselves a platform in the game, kept Celtic at bay, didn't really let them get going in the game at all, and from 2-8 showed decent character to stay in the game. I think Barry bringing on the triple sub with 10 minutes to go, bringing on the match winner, who a couple of big mistakes from Celtic players, but he's absolutely punished Celtic. Into the Rangers end with Rangers fans back in the ground. No obvious reflection on the league season, but in a season where those players have suffered, it's a big day for them.
Barry goes over, I think, to the Rangers fans. The Rangers players are there. He's smiling. Yep, 2,500 in this afternoon. Millions will be watching it, Craig. Is it a new era? Maybe.
Hey, look, he'll feel like he's played. He got a yellow card as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Look, again, it's a big result. Look, I know how busy he's been, him and his staff, and the amount of work that they've put in. But you need to see the results, and when you do, obviously this is what it's all about. So, look, he'd be delighted in terms of the turnaround that he's got, I think, for the club to see. It's been a huge difference, and these players have started to stand up and be counted. Stephen,
you know him well. How much is he savouring this moment to come to the champions and to win 3-2?
Yeah, absolutely. But knowing Barry, he'll probably get them in the dressing room and say, you've just came to your hardest fixture of the season and won the game to go 13 points behind. In March, he'll know that that's unacceptable, and he'll probably, whether he's a manager next season or not, he'll probably use the opportunity from the highs to lay down a marker, because they came into the game. If you're thinking that penultimate Celtic Rangers game, you win it, what a bearing that would have in the league to not have an impact. He'll just, I think it's a marker down for those players and a young group for next season.
See Brendan Rodgers in contrast. He doesn't lose often, does he? But that's 2 defeats to Rangers, and we're only in March the 16th.
And he'll be hurting, Paul. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I know it was all polite at the end of the game there, and nice handshakes and all that. But there was zero eye contact from him nor from Kennedy. They'll be hurting from this result. That's a huge one for Barry and for Rangers.
And for Celtic today, I mean, beforehand, you did say the bench, wow, it looked bare because no Callum McGregor, no Trusty, and no Scales.
No Bernardo, but I don't think Brendan Rodgers will come out, and I don't think he'll use it. I think he'll take his medicine, and he'll speak about, because they won the cup final, but they've been beat twice in a row off Rangers. They've also conceded 3 times in the last 3 games against Rangers, which, when you think of any game of football, losing 3 goals, having to score 4 to win a game, never mind in a game of that magnitude, I think that'll be really frustrated. And a lot of players you think of, you speak about injuries, players stepping in, Navrocki playing his first Celtic Rangers game, there was just too many under par. Craig spoke at the top of the show about individual battles. Rangers won more individual battles than Celtic and came out on top.
If you want to speak to Craig Moore or Stephen McGinn, just watching as the Rangers players go up the tunnel, some of the Celtics fans have stayed behind as well, but most of them probably have gone, as we see Dezza's going up the tunnel. So to Barry Ferguson, as Rangers take the spoils this afternoon. 0808 17 17 700.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. The Memphis Barbecue King Double is back. 2 flame grilled beef burgers layered with streaky bacon, slices of American cheese, smoky barbecue sauce, golden onion rings and creamy mayo in a sesame bun. Let's go!
This is the Go Radio Football Show. Paul Cooney, Stephen McGinn and Craig Moore. As Rangers win 3-2 this afternoon. They were 2 up. It was a goal in just 4 minutes, a header from Nico Raskin. That was his second attempt in 60 seconds. So Tavernier corner, just glanced at home. It was a Czerny chance, which Schmeichel after a mistake, and you wondered, Craig, I think, wondered, is that something they're going to rue? But no, in 37 minutes, it was Diamande made it 2-0, a Raskin header. As we look at the table with Rangers winning now, the gap is 13 points, Celtic on 75 points, Rangers on 62. Celtic goal difference plus 69, Rangers plus 34. Half time, Rangers 2 up, then Celtic strike back, a Maida header, the Jota cross after just 3 minutes, and then it was Reo Hatate, 74 minutes, good pass through from Luke McCowan, 2-2. Both Craig and Stephen said there'll be another goal in this, and it came in 88 minutes from substitute Igamani. So Rangers take the points this afternoon.
Yeah, and look, they'll be delighted by taking the 3 points today. It kind of again just starts to give that real confidence to the players to finish the season in a positive way. Barty's put some huge demands on these players in terms of being quite honest and saying that consistency and the performances domestically have been nowhere near good enough. To go away from home against your biggest rivals and to get that kind of result today, he'll be immensely proud of his group of players, Paul.
We're going to take some calls. I can see it lighting up. 0808 17 17 700. Stephen, for Rangers, first of all credit to Barry and his players after the efforts of that long game the other night against Fenerbahce, when, as you said earlier, they lost. They were good through, of course, but it was tough.
Yeah, I mean, full credit to... I said it getting into the game, you think it might have a factor. A couple of years ago in the semi-final, I think they went to extra time and won after extra time against Celtic. So at that top end, the players are used to it. So I don't think it's as much of they're going to be flagging. But full credit, it was they found a way the other night to get through. They didn't play at their best. They found a way. Today, they started the second half so poorly. Obviously, lose a goal. It felt like a matter of time until Celtic got the equaliser. But from 2-2, I think they steadied the ship. I think the changes were good. They got a foothold back in the game, and they always put themselves back in the way that if Celtic made a mistake, they could capitalise. Barry went to 2 strikers. It'd be easy to just take Dessers off and put Iggyman up top himself and just see out the 2-2, as I thought might have. He's went with the 2 strikers and he's got his reward.
Yeah, Philip Long didn't often play Dessers and Igamani together, did he? For Barry, he must be so pleased, Craig. Were you surprised at the way Celtic didn't play? Look, Rangers made it really tough for them. But were you surprised at Celtic's performance?
Well, look, I think Celtic's start was also due to the way Rangers started very well, forced a lot of errors, played ball into good areas, played the percentages well, Paul. But am I surprised? I think with the 1 game per week now for Celtic, I think for a number of weeks now we've seen domestically that they cough up opportunities for the teams that they've been playing against. Okay, their qualities normally come through, but the chances have been there in recent weeks as well. Rangers took advantage in the first half. Celtic showed their quality in the second half. Igamane tops it off with a fantastic finish for Rangers.
Man of the match for you. Moore's man of the match.
Again, I didn't really think there was a huge standout in this match.
Raskin, will I throw his name? I'll just throw you some names.
I think it was a solid team performance from Rangers. Therefore, probably does. You look at a Raskin or maybe a Suter, but I don't think there was anything that stood out. It was a collective. It was as a group.
Yeah, I'm kind of, even if the game had finished 2 each. You're pointing at, I mean, the guys Craig mentioned, Balogun, Raskin. I thought Ridvan was really brave all afternoon. Good. You think of the personal circumstances Jeffrey's missed out, he might not even have played. I thought he put in a good shift. I'd probably give him the nod. And a Celtic end at 2-2, you're thinking, I thought Dyson Maida was particularly good. I think he was, I know he's losing, but I thought he was really, Celtic's best player by a mile. But probably because it's goal, you could just say Barry in terms of honestly, I thought Rangers need to try and just get the 2-2, shut up shop, go with the 2 strikers, made a big difference.
And I think that's one thing, Paul, that I think Barry has shown in a short period of time that he is brave enough to make decent calls. Away from home there, Stephen, it's easy just to sit in and try and get the draw towards the end there. But he still wanted to go and win a game of football, and that's exactly how he was as a player. and he's trying to translate that now as an interim manager.
He keeps the conversation on Rangers, doesn't he? I mean, a lot of it was enforced by the Queen's Park result, for example, then Philippe Clement after the St Mirren result, and then Barry Ferguson comes in, big name, people saying, oh, it surprises me, as I think some top ex-Rangers players were saying, oh, it surprises me if it's going to be Barry Ferguson. Well, it is Barry at the moment. Yes. And so the chat's been about them. So it's going into the international break just now. For Celtic, they're not in the headlines so much. The European adventure, which was brilliant, has gone. Yeah. Maybe it's just the fact you kind of the league is not over, but 13 points. Is there any way back for Rangers?
No, I don't believe there can be much of a slip by Celtic. But just another thing in terms of what it meant today in terms of to Rangers. I think that this was a game that a lot of players were on trial for next season.
For Rangers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Because do you want to be part of what's happening moving forward? Sure. I think that was a big test for some players today.
Okay, so Butland, Tavernier. I memean, there you are. Look at his under Barry Ferguson. Is he transformed?
No, he's been absolutely solid, and Tavernier leads in different ways. A captain, Stephen, you were captain. You would have led in a certain way. I led in a certain way. Tavernier's got his way, and it's not what a lot of the people want to see. It's grabbing people by the scruff of the neck and going about and kicking people up in the air and all that sort of stuff. That's not him, Paul. But you see at the end of the match there, he goes and puts Igamani in front of the crowd to go and enjoy the moment. That was a special moment.
Stephen, for Rangers, in fact, I think everyone, I'm just looking at the team that started: Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Balogun, Redvan, Sterling, Barron and Raskin, Diomande, Cherney and Dessers. And then he brought on Proper, that was enforced. Lawrence came on late on. Enciala. And Igaman, of course. Hadji came on, he got a booking, and no Rice, no Danilo. So just looking at some of the stats there, Celtic is at 71% possession, but it just shows you, Stephen, doesn't it? Is that the XG? Rangers 1.23, Celtic 1.64, but it finishes up 3-2 Rangers, and that's what counts.
Yeah, I mean, take out the finals. I think Rangers will have prepared for Celtic having 60, 70 odd percent possession of the ball. It's really... just listening to Craig and just probably reflecting on it, they have had some, I mean, we've watched some in here, putting 4 past Nice, the Tottenham performance. You don't really know where to go with this group of players in terms of, they've just won to go through to quarter final of the Europa League. They've just won 3-2 at Celtic. They've scored 3 in 3 separate games now in a row against Celtic, and they're 13 points behind in the middle of March. It's does it need sweeping changes? Does that mean? I mean, is there small change? Is there small changes, big changes? Do you know what I mean? It's one of those to reflect the guys, whoever the new manager will be, whether it's Barry, whether any of his staff are part of the next coaching team. It is the dilemma. Have they got enough where they just add 1 or 2 to cut that 13-point gap, or do you still need sweeping because although they're producing big results, big performances, they're still letting them down in between?
I think, Stephen, just to my opinion in terms of that. So you look at the starting 11 that went out there today. Yeah. I still think we're talking next season now. There needs to be 3 or 4 starting 11 players that come into something like that. That will then take Rangers, I think, a step forward. But not squad fillers. Yeah. No, not squad fillers.
Not the jersey fillers.
They starting 11 players. That for me is the only way forward. And then people will talk about the difference between Celtic and Rangers now, right? So again, Celtic have been first class this season. Their levels have been incredible, right? And therefore they're going to be crowned champions, I believe. Rangers have been really, really poor, right? But I do not think it's 15 players, £50 million and all these kind of crazy things about getting close. I think it's 3 or 4 starting 11 players.
Let's go on the lines. Loads of calls coming in. Let's get straight to the points, everyone. Paul, Rangers fan. Hi, Paul. What's your point this afternoon?
I agree with what Craig's saying there. I think we just need a few key players. I think Celtic missed McGregor. I think we dominated midfield. I like the setup we had tonight. I think we were aggressive. We caught Celtic in the counter-attack, and we're certainly, Brendan had said that he's seen Rangers managers over the years doing the same things, doesn't see much of a change. Well, I've certainly seen a change today in the attitude of the players. It would have easy to be slipping up after going 2 each. I still felt, even then when the second goal went in, I still felt something would come from either side, to be honest. But I can't, they were, to a player, to a man, they were absolutely outstanding. I think I would keep Balogun a wee bit longer. I think. No, Davy Weir hadn't played into maybe 40 or something.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
did.
So,
Sure. Yeah.
Balogun's 36, so he could still have a few years with him, and he could be a kind of maybe a bit part player, but would certainly need a physical kind of player in the centre back. We've had it throughout the years when we've had.
Yeah. Okay. Craig Moore. Yeah, sure. Good point, Craig. On Balogun, keep him.
Look, he's a fantastic professional. We all get to an age where our legs go. He doesn't show at that stage yet, but look, Rangers need to strengthen through the spine of the team. So definitely another central defender for next season is a must.
Good point there from Paul, though, when Brendan Rodgers said, I don't see any change yet, under Barry Ferguson or something like that. That's a moment you can enjoy then.
Do you remember, was it the cuddle and a slap?
That's right.
It was a cuddle and a slap from Brendan, as if to say,
it was.
he wanted to stamp his authority. That's why I think even after the game, it's respectful, but Brendan Rodgers will be hurting after that. Absolutely.
And he should be.
Absolutely should be. And an inexperienced manager got one over on him.
Yeah. Stephen?
Yeah, I mean,
On
that would be for Rangers, the Brendan Rodgers, in terms of, managers change, but they're still going to do the same things. But obviously something's working. As I said, it's 3 times in a row Rangers have scored 3 times against them. And within the game today, Rangers' best chance was probably the one that Czerny doesn't shoot early. It's maybe their best chance. Sure. So there's definitely something within Celtic's setup that Rangers enjoy playing against. They have the option of just being really direct, getting up to Dessers and getting up on the second ball. And for Balogun, I can see Paul's point, but you would need for what that squad needs and money, Paul. Sorry, it concerns me how often he can't even do like the 90 minutes. So he misses, you get injuries. He's an older player, but it would just be. Davy Weir was in immaculate condition. Yeah, he wasn't. I played in that era against Rangers against Davy Weir. He was a big player for them. He was playing every 3 days.
Paul, loads of calls coming in, but thanks for yours. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon and the weekend for you. Rangers win 3-2.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction with a Gourmet King's Barbecue Steakhouse Angus. Order now on the Burger King app.
Let's go! Going to take a few more calls. 08 17 17 700. We're going to Falkirk in a moment or two, but Colin is on. Rangers winning 3-2 at Celtic. Hi, Colin.
Hi, guys.
How are you feeling?
You all right?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. I wasn't expecting that today. I really wasn't. Great. Can I just say, great commentating in the game, guys. Well done.
We're just chatting, of course. The commentary is on the telly, but it's great to get the insight, thank you, of people playing at the top level, Craig and Stephen. So thank you. What about that? What does that tell us about Rangers, though? I mean, the downside is you must be saying, why can we not do this against lesser teams right throughout the season?
100%. It's just a shame. They seem to play a lot better when can you say the pressure's off them, I suppose. There's not
maybe
the league's done. I don't. They play better when maybe they didn't do it at the start of the season, but they seem to play slightly better when they're away from home. Maybe there's not as much fans on their back. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe in fact. Craig, maybe, they could have said, well, we point 120 to 130 minutes the other night, blah, blah, blah.
I think just too many times, Colin, this season is you've just not known what team is going to turn up.
You don't know what team is going to turn up, exactly, that's it. Can I just make a wee point in Barry Ferguson, though?
Yep.
I've absolutely loved listening to Barry Ferguson on your show.
Thank you.
But listen, I think that Barry Ferguson should be given a year's contract because I know that he's not got results going his way all the time, the games that he's been in charge, but he's shown enough. He's shown more than what Clamont's shown in a year and a half in the job. That just the fact he's I can't remember what game it was. Was it the Kilmarnock game where he made a change at half time?
Sure. Yeah, in fact, before half-time. No, you're right. The only blot was the Motherwell game at home. But that, in a way, Stephen, your brother Paul, injured at the moment, the Motherwell captain, that's been the story of the season for Rangers.
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to look past the pressure point because there is pressure on the Rangers guys in terms of coming into the cauldron somewhere they've been beaten heavily over the last 4 or 5 years. So there's always that pressure in terms of starting well, not letting the game get away from you. There is something in it in terms of they're allowed to. There's games where they play well. They're allowed to. The other night against Fenerbahce, they're allowed to just kick out the pitch, and it's like, okay, regroup, get into your shape. Maybe there's that when you're playing the games where you're expected to win. Maybe there's groans. Maybe there's that kind of internal pressure. You have to score the precise goal. I don't think they've got good enough footballers to score perfect football. I think that's when they're the best, when they're able to get it forward early, get crosses in the box. The Barry Ferguson, in it's hard on because you work with him in here and we all like him, but you have to discuss him for the job. In terms of Philippe Clement came in with a brilliant CV, but Barry Ferguson's as qualified for the job as Steven Gerrard and Michael Beale were. Yep. Yes, he's in fact probably more experienced in terms of the amount of games he's already managed, and he's a club legend. So it's they've made managerial positions like that. I know the new investors, the new owners might think differently, but in the last few years they've made more inexperienced appointments than Barry,
and they've wasted a massive amount of money. Colin, how are you going to celebrate? A few beers there, yeah. And
I think definitely Barry's shown enough in the last few games that just changing formations and that he's built a team. He's building a wee kind of thing where they are no fear to change formations.
No, he's certainly not. He is. He takes not a gamble, but he's done well. Let's take more calls. Thank you for that. Robbie's on the line, a Celtic fan. Robbie, good afternoon.
Hi, how's it going?
All right, Robbie, what are you thinking? What happened this afternoon?
A wee bit disappointed with Celtic. I mean, see, overall with the game, I think you can have no complaints that Rangers edged that game, no problem. They were a better team in the first half, Celtic the second half, but you've got to mind Rangers still had a couple of decent opportunities in the second half. It's just about some of the. I know that Brendan Rodgers had his hands tied behind his back a wee bit with some injuries and long-term injuries, and the ones with Trusty and McGregor. But I'll say one thing: see Arne Engels in that number 6 position. Yep. I'm not going to be too hard on him. But he's miles away from that. There's different ways you can play the position. There's some who are ball winners in that position. Cal McGregor seems to be a tempo setter. The play goes through him for the base of the midfield. Arne Engels he just wasn't showing himself enough for the ball. And I've got to pay Rangers credit here, because see in that first half, here's what I think that Rangers done. See the base of what they went with the 3 across the back, or if you're sitting in deep, it's a 5. Yep. That's hard to break down. That's a great base to build from. And I thought the Rangers, what they'd done was they stopped Celtic from playing in the first half, and what that done, it killed 2 birds with the one stone. It allowed them to play and allowed them to get forward, and they stopped Celtic. Even the wingers. So as soon as Celtic's wingers got the ball, Rangers' their wing backs were right up them, pushing them back, not allowing them any space. Celtic just couldn't get going, but that was a wee bit of that was down to Rangers. You can't just say, we never played well. That's the only reason why you were netting in the first half.
All right,
Rangers
stopped
Celtic playing and allowed them to play.
No, I agree. I think Rangers certainly played in better areas in terms of the first half. Look, McGregor, huge miss. I've always said that he's a glue for them. He's the one that's able to keep things together. He's also the link. I mean, you would watch it, Stephen, more, because we do have a bias in terms of our positions, but Engels wouldn't have had anywhere near as many touches as what McGregor would have in the middle of the park in that game, I'd guess. Stephen,
what would you say? Obviously, Callum McGregor, huge loss, everyone thought beforehand. My goodness, you saw it starkly this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Callum McGregor was doing 60, 70 games a season for Celtic. There was always going to be a point where he has niggles. And this might be, we don't know the ins and outs. Does he need an operation? Is he going to be out for a while? But Celtic do have to consider that, the fact that Callum McGregor's not always going to be there. He's not going to be available. Celtic have just come off a really punishing schedule with Champions League games, domestic games right through the winter, constantly playing games, and it looked as if they caught up with him. At times in Brendan's first spell, the league would be done with 3-4 months to go, and it felt like a switch went on for the big game. But all of a sudden, you come into the game today, no McGregor, no Bernardo, no Trusty, no Scales, and they couldn't just get back to top form.
Robbie, how'd you get it going again this season? Okay, 13 points in it, the league is going to be yours, but what is it, hangover? What do you feel?
See, the thing is that went into it, Paul, was Rangers playing on the Thursday. And I want to switch sports. I just want to switch sport. See, boxing. See, in the 1940s, they used to fight. They used to fight about 3 or 4 times a month.
Yep.
See, now guys are fighting. The most they fight is 5 times a year.
I know.
And they used to do the 15 rounds. Now, see the sports science. I couldn't care if sport. The top sports science guy in the world is going to tell me any different. See, Rangers. You could actually say. No, the boys will maybe agree with me here. It can actually be an advantage with playing that last game. Celtic for the full week, you're on the floor,
right.
and see another thing. Let me finish. Barry Ferguson, what the best thing he done? See, when he made the changes for Thursday, he made one change. He didn't go daft and say, "I've got to change this 4 or 5 because we played on Thursday." Ken's what he's doing. It's nothing to do with tiredness. 2 days ago he played. He never played 12 years ago. 2 days ago. Too much goes into all that.
Well, Barry always said in this programme he'd much rather be playing the 3 games a week than just 1 game a week. Stephen, what would you say?
Yeah, it's fair comment. I mean, Celtic had been so good, but you look at the big players for Celtic in terms of the constants being there. You could only really look at Maida in terms of really doing himself justice, how he's played the rest of the season. Schmeichel, I thought, was slack. Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers weren't anywhere near what they're like. Rio Hatate, I thought was okay. He was okay, but Nicholas Kuhn, what's
happened to him?
You don't want. I mean, last year he was so poor. First half of this season he was so good. He's maybe in between that, but he definitely had a dip since the turn of the year. And Celtic need to find a way to get him back to his best. I know maybe James Forrest he's probably the most amount of football he's ever played, Nicholas Kuhn. I see James Forrest has returned to training. That extra squad depth getting into the run-in for the Scottish Cup and league finish.
Robbie, some great points there. Craig, you've been listening to Barry Ferguson live on Sky.
Yeah, look, he was obviously delighted with the first half. That's obviously expected that obviously Celtic would have a real go in the second half, and knew that meant a period of time where Rangers need to be trying well organised and have a better shape, Paul, than what they did. He said that was one area that he picked up, especially the second goal. I think the shape, they are a little bit all over the place. But at 2-2, he said he wanted to see the character of his players, to see, show me what you've got.
And I know you want to say to Robbie, who made a great point, boxers used to play 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a month. Now they play maybe 4 or 5 times a year maximum. In football, there's too much chat about, they're tired and all the rest of it. Did Rangers look that much more tired than Celtic today?
No, but again, I've been in a position where playing regularly, I tell you what, I preferred more games than more training sessions. Just the little bit about Kuhn in terms of the players before. Kuhn for me he wasn't terrible, Paul. The situation is that the way Rangers played in the first half meant that Kuhn never got on the ball the way that he has done for the majority of the season to be as effective. So Rangers stopped Kuhn being able to get into the situation. Okay, he was taken off at half time, but all of a sudden you can't be saying, Nicholas Kuhn's not having a good run and all that sort of stuff. He's a top player.
It's going to be some programme tomorrow night, isn't it? You'll be with us 0808 17 17 700. Stephen, Celtic came in with high expectations to make it further ahead, but it's back to 13 points. But I think it's more importantly, final Old Firm game at Celtic this season, and Celtic didn't match Rangers.
Yeah, it doesn't. It won't make a major impact on the season. I think at the end of May, when the trophies are handed out, they'll be looking towards another treble. But just a reminder: football's full of reminders that when you're not at your best, it can find ways of hurting you, and it's a sore one. It'll be a sore couple of weeks going into the international break for these Celtic players and manager.
What are you going to say to your old pal?
You can go and enjoy a glass of red wine now. I know he's been working extremely hard, but he'll be delighted with that, and I'm sure the playing group will take a lot of confidence, can go and enjoy some kind of break now.
Greg, thanks for joining us this afternoon. You too, Stephen. Thank you so much. What a game. 5 goals. Rangers were 2 up at half time. Celtic bring it back to 2-2, and then it's the sub Igamani was on for just a few moments that saw Barry pumping the air, kissing the ball and taking the points this afternoon in the derby. Thanks so much. You know who's next here in the studio live? She's just coming in. It's Zoe.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Every home is now the home of the Whopper with Burger King delivery.
Let's go! Let's go live to hear about that winning goal.
The crowd's gone absolutely wild here. How on earth do you sum up your emotions right now?
Amazing. A hat-trick is just the best feeling ever.
Is it though? Is kicking a ball into the back of the net really better than food fulfillment from Burger King? That warm, fuzzy feeling of total food satisfaction, like finishing the last bite of a Gourmet King's Barbecue Steakhouse Angus.
No.
Correct. Burger King. That's food fulfillment.